Evening all. Welcome to the Spurs Session. Big up Deji, big up Alex. Hope you guys are good. Big up to everyone in the chat and everyone watching at home.
Big up to
How are
everyone.
you guys?
Yeah, not too bad. Slightly more chirpy than I probably would have been on the result yesterday. But personally, nursing a cold at the moment, but the cold ain't gonna hold me down. I'm here for it to talk about our club. So yeah, big up, man, and thanks for the invite, Dan, as well.
Yeah, cheers for jumping on, man, and coming on when you're ill as well, man. I'm feeling rough myself, so yeah, I had to pop some paracetamol and just go for it. Alex, buddy, how are you?
I'm good. Just getting on with the day. Went to the game yesterday. It was okay. Got through the game. Be happy with it. And just same old day. Like same Spurs, different day. Like they're saying it. Like Dan the Hotspur Hood says. Big up to him. So yeah, good.
You booked your ticket yet, Alex, for the final?
Nah, I've got my theories about it at the moment.
Aren't we there now? I thought it sounds like we're in the final. The way what I'm hearing out there, we've already made it.
Well, no, listen. People are allowed to be happy. You know what I mean? We won against Liverpool, so it's a good victory. I just think.
I'm only joking. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking.
But I just think as I think I've spoke to someone earlier today, and it's just like I'm very more reserved about these sort of things, especially about what calling the Carabao Cup. You know what I mean? It's but we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
We'll be getting into it. And how are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. Happy with the result yesterday, but I'm sure we'll talk more about it in a bit. So yeah.
Thanks for jumping on.
I just wanted to say, good to see you, mate. Happy New Year, but you don't look happy. Just kidding. That was a bad joke.
Let's say a few hellos in the chat. Big up to Adrian. Evening to you. Hope you're well. Big up Nige. How you doing, Nige? Watching in. You're normally in bed at this time of night.
Where is he? By the way, where is he? Where is he? Oh, he's in bed. He's in bed, Nige.
He doesn't do the late ones, Nige.
Oh, big up to Nige, by the way. Sorry to interrupt. Big up to Nige.
It's all right. He'll be jumping on tomorrow. We've got another stream tomorrow. Big up Robski 74. Hope you're well. Who else we got in there? Totspur, big up to you as well. And yeah, let's get going. Now look, this stream is a very it's just going to be a good old chat about Spurs. Yeah, we can take it anywhere we want. I've got some talking points, but what I want to say to you guys on the panel tonight, if there's anything particular you want to discuss, we'll go there. Yeah. So whatever's on your mind about Spurs, we're going to discuss it, get into it. Yeah. I have some talking points where we can follow, but we can let it go wherever we want it. So let's start off with that victory yesterday. And look, it was a surprise, right, guys? Bit of a surprise. I didn't think we'd win, but we did.
Who wants to start? I mean, I'm quite happy to start.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I mean, let's not downplay the result yesterday. The result was a big result. I don't give a damn about the Carabao Cup, you know that. But that was a full strength Liverpool team, pretty much identical to the team that slapped us 6-3. And so to walk away with a 1, I mean, I didn't think we had a chance in hell to draw the game, let alone even walk away with a 1-0 victory. And for me, I think there were a number of things that I took from the game that I'm like, you know what I mean? And as you know, I was speaking earlier on Loaded Mag, and they were saying, ain't this similar to Eddie Howe? And I really don't think it is similar to Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe, the problems Newcastle had last season was simply down to the fact that they had a lot of injuries. But you could see that he was adapting things. He was very humble about it. And then he started to get the result. I do think Postecoglou is a gambler. I think he does Russian roulette. Sometimes when you when you bet on red, it goes black and you lose. And sometimes you bet on red and you win. And I think yesterday he bet on red and he got the result. So I'm not under any illusion that we've turned the corner. I'm not even buying the narrative that once our players come back, all of a sudden we're going to go on a run. I'm not buying that. But what I will say is this. I've been banging on about Jed Spence. Alex knows. I've been chatting about him when he weren't even getting a sniff. What a player. Eh? Jed Spence is better than Porro and Udogie. Yeah? So I want to know, what were you doing pre-season? What are you looking at in training that is taking you this long in this circumstance to bring Jed Spence in? The other thing I want to say is, bloody hell, can you see the difference? What a good goalkeeper makes your team look. Now, I'm not going to lie. From the first second I saw Kinski, I didn't know who he was. I was like, why the hell are we bringing in the keeper? I was even moaning that, Brandon Austin has been there all his life. He gets a sniff for first team football and then we put him back on the bench. And Brandon Austin, if you are watching, because I know you're a fan of this channel, get out of our club. Not in a negative way. You need to go and get first team football at Millwall. You need to go to Port Vale. Go and get first team football because we are not respecting you. However, I will say Kinski provide an air of security assurance that I haven't seen even under Vicario. Very assured with his feet, very assured with his hands. And had that been the Frigid goal, we probably concede 6 or 7. Had that been Vicario, we probably concede 3 or 4. And I actually said, had Vicario been in goal for the Newcastle game, we would have conceded 3 or 4 goals because you just know he can't deal with anything in the air. So I will big up. I'm hoping it wasn't like a first game wonder or whatever. I hope he is the real deal. If he's the real deal, we've got a really good goalkeeper on our hands, to be honest with you. And that made the back line more assured. He made some cracking saves. Look, don't get it twisted. The defense weren't any better. Yeah, just the keeper made more saves. That's really what happened. So, yeah, I complain about Jed Spence. I complain about the keeper, but I'm delighted to see a new keeper in. I don't want to see Archie Gray at the back. I was listening to the last word in Spurs, and they had the Mirror fellow and the Darren. And he was saying, let's see Archie in his position. But I thought Bergvall, give it a circuit. Look, anyone that can get a result against a full strength Liverpool team, they must have played well. The boys played well. Solanke played well. And the last thing I would say is I predicted before the game that wouldn't it be jamming that we would see a Newcastle Spurs final. And I'm not saying that Postecoglou is this magician that he's going to do something, but I think, Alex, you were alluding to it, or Dan, he is crazy enough. You said one day Ramos, and I think that's what you meant in the sense, Alex, that he's crazy enough to win us the Carabao Cup, guys. That's just the truth. We're going to have a shocking season, but it might give us the trophy. And I doubt, even with that, I'm hoping that the Spurs fans are not satisfied. I want Postecoglou to prove me wrong. But at the moment, I'm not shifting. I don't think he's the man long term, but I'm happy to be proven otherwise.
Good start to the show, man. Good start to the show. And that keeper as well, man. What a debut. 21 years old, just thrown in. I mean, it's crazy. Who is this guy? Where'd they find him? How long have they been scouting him? But a very assured debut. Alex, do you want to make a talk about that goalie?
On the keeper, in the summer, this summer coming up, they'll plan to sign him then. But because we have like half our squad injured, I think they didn't have a choice after Forster got ill or injured, whatever it was.
So you saw the link in the summer, did you? I didn't see the link for...
No. I'm saying I don't watch his press conferences, but I do read his quotes after sometimes. Ange was saying that they plan to get him in the summer coming up, so summer 2025. But because of the injuries, they moved it forward, basically. So they kind of were forced to buy him early, really, if you want to put it that way. They didn't plan to get him now. But as for himself, it was a good debut. His distribution was probably the most positive thing I've seen from one of our keepers so far this season. Like his kicking was really good, but I still don't think he was really tested that much. I mean, he made a few saves, but I don't think Liverpool. I mean, we're going to get him in a bit, but I don't think they retested him that much, and I don't think he really dealt with that many corners either. That I felt like he had to come out and punch out or like command the box in that respect. But the distribution really helped because obviously he didn't really put a lot of our players into trouble, which like helped a lot because obviously playing out the back is a massive issue for us anyway. So in that respect, I'll give him credit for distribution. Hopefully, this is not just a one-time thing, and he carries on this way.
But yeah, man, like that was just such madness, wasn't it? Mad debut.
Can I just throw in a slight question on Haz? So he says he was meant to come in the summer because he wasn't going to bring in a goalkeeper now anyway. He was quite happy with Forster, and then all of a sudden, what's wrong with Forster? Because all of a sudden he's ill. What's this, long term, or has he got some sort of mental? Has he had a mental breakdown basically? Because I don't know.
The bug. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
I heard he got this bug that half the squad got. Remember? So
yeah, and he hasn't shaken it off.
Yeah, he ain't got over those 2 mistakes he made in that game, Man United game. He ain't got over that, has he? He ain't recovered. I don't think.
I think that's what's happened. I think he's actually lost a bit of confidence, and I'm not, making jest of that. It can happen, but I think they've just decided he's not good enough. But we said that from when I knew Vicario was injured, we were like, oh no, I was like, the fridge is in goal, and then people started shaking their bum after 2 games, and then the reality set in. But yeah, Forster was never up to the level, and why? And that's the thing.
We gave him an extra year, didn't we? I think, if I'm not wrong. I think we gave him a year extension, didn't we, in the summer?
It's crazy. And I think the difference between why I'm slightly more antagonistic towards Postecoglou is he says things like, I believe in this. I think he plays with a lot of sentiments, whether positively or negatively. Like, I think there was some reason why he weren't playing Jed Spence, but then equally, there's some reason why he felt he could trust Fraser Forster and why he felt he could trust Timo Werner. Yet we, the public, who are not there with the players week in, week out, some of us are having to watch it while doing a watch along on our screens, can see the faults in these players. I just want to know why he couldn't see it. And that's why I feel like our league form, it didn't have to be this way if he just opened his eyes. It was never going to be perfect, but it didn't need to be this bad. Sorry.
Look, Alex, the game, the goalie, you saw him in the flesh. Was it really that good a performance?
I think we got through the game. That's what it was really for me. I think we just kept it tight, and we defensively did a good job on Liverpool. Even though certain chances they had, the only small chances they had they couldn't take, and they struggled to break us down in the end. And we put that ball over the top, and that cost that really caused a few problems. I think we started well in the game, but that long stottage for Bentancur when he had that really horrible injury, we still continued. I felt, even though Liverpool did have a lot of possession, second half they tried to up the tempo a little bit, and we just kept it out. And I do agree with the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper with his feet, I think he had a good debut. Yeah, had a very good debut. I think some of the balls that he pinged over at the top, I think we could have taken a little bit more advantage of. I've got to be honest. Yeah, I do feel that from what I saw, I think Berval was very, very busy. I'm still skeptical about him because I think he was very lucky to be on the pitch after that second tackle. Basuma, I think he was busy as well, I would say. Spence has not. He's been good up to now. I've come to that theory that I don't think there's anything to do with Postecoglou, Spence's performances. I think he's doing it to spite him. I think he's actually doing it to spite him. To be honest with you, I don't think it's anything to do with Ange Postecoglou. To be honest with you, to tell you the truth, because I think he's just thinking, well, you ignore me for the half a season anyway, so I'll show you, and he's showing us. That's what I think. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do. I just think it was a good performance. We got through. You know what I mean? I think Solanke. I don't agree he was that great. I think he used a lot of energy. I think he did. He was unlucky for the goal that he scored, and he did really well for the goal. And Berval taking his goal very well. And we closed out the game. You know,
Did he give you a smile, Alex, when that Bergvall got that goal? Did you have a little smile for him?
Listen. I don't. You know, I
happy for him?
I'm happy. I'll congratulate him, but I mean, I'm not like that, Dan. I'm not like that, Dan.
Yeah, but he's 18, playing at home. Semi-final, first goal for the club. Big moment for him personally.
Oh, it's a massive moment for him. Yes, but I think for me, I do feel that I know people praise Basuma, but he needs somebody very much experienced who's got a bit of know-how about it to just tell him what to do, because he was very, very rash for me. Very rash for me. Too rash for me. He worked really hard, and I'll give him credit for that. And I think he's just acting like an 18-year-old for me, but he's got a lot to learn, an awful lot to learn for me. And it summed it up when he nearly got sent off. You know what I mean? He's just a little bit too wanting to please too much. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to just hold back, and sometimes, but you're not going to know that at 18 years old. That's why I think you needed an experienced player next to him to say, just hold back a little bit, mate. Just hold that a little bit, Don't go and rash like that. You know what I mean? The forward line, the forwards that we have, I've got to be honest, they were very disappointing. I've got to be honest. The forward line, the wingers were very disappointing. And towards the end, after the match, this is where I'm starting to look at it and think, yeah, Ange, you need to start managing your squad better than this, because you are ruining a lot of players for their energy at the moment. I saw Kulusevski go down. I think Basuma went down. I think a few players went down there on the floor after the game because they're absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that there are. It's pleasing that we got through, that we come through and come through those skates with a clean sheet, and we got the goal. But I still think there's a long way to go. For me, yeah, long way to go.
I was going to add on what you said about Spence and bringing Regulon as well. So obviously he didn't name Spence in his Europa League squad.
Madman.
Absolute nonsense. After we heard all summer how he's going to have some redemption, right? And obviously I kind of agree with Alex in this respect. I think he is doing it to spite him, because he didn't name him in the squad. It's only taken about 5-6 injuries for him to even be in the starting 11 after Porro and Udogie were giving mixed performances the whole season, right? And I think it's hurt Ange as well, because if Ange rested, say, even just use Spence, not Regulon. I know I'm putting Regulon in this because he's still really a natural left back that we could have rotated with Udogie. I'm not saying playing every game, but playing Europa League game or something. Yeah. And this is kind of part of the reason why we have so many injuries, because he's overplayed some of these players, and because the fullbacks do so much running, it's insane. I look at Porro every game now. I think the guy's exhausted before he's even kicked the ball, and it's you could have used Spence way earlier in the season. You probably would have prevented half these injuries. It's just nonsense. I just don't get it.
Kulu's done. Kulu's done. He can't play. He can't play against Tamworth. He cannot play against Tamworth.
He can't play
because he's literally in the red zone. If people love this Kulu, right, who didn't play well yesterday, by the way, right, he was okay, but he didn't play. He wasn't the best player there. I've got to be honest, right. like you need to give him. You cannot play him against Hamworth. You cannot. You like.
I do think at the same
he's
time
done.
though, and Kulusevski's probably been one of our better players this season, but I do think teams are starting to suss him out because when he was playing against Newcastle and last night, I noticed whenever he got the ball, there were 3 players around him every time. So obviously that they've sussed him out, and I think it hurt us in the first half because the midfield ended up being Bergvall, Kulusevski, and Bissouma because obviously Bentancur went off, and because he initially was playing higher up the pitch, he was the 10. Bergvall was playing further back, which didn't make any sense to me anyway. But in the second half, he switched it around, thankfully, and Bergvall was playing as the 10, and because he was playing deeper, and we obviously benefited from it in the end. But I think in the long run, he might need to do that. Obviously, I don't know if we're going to sign anyone in the next couple of weeks, but I think he might need to push Kulusevski back for like a few games because I just don't think we're going to get any benefit from him.
But that's the problem, Hotspur. He doesn't need to push Kulusevski back. He needs to bloody get him a 6. Get a 6 or put Archie Gray in there, since that's his role, and buy a centre-back. I mean, a lot of the decisions that he hasn't made, they're very, very simple decisions. Get a centre-back in and push Archie Gray up. That's the job. The point you made about Jed Spence, had Jed Spence and Reguilon, I would say, because at the end of the day, what are the point? The point of squad players is you bring them in when you need it. No point saying that the boys are blowing out steam when you've got 2 fit, ready, able to just do a job. We're not asking them to go and score hat tricks. We're asking them to do a job and keep it tight while these guys recover. I don't know why Reguilon can't play while we're in recovery mode. And Jed Spence has overproved that he's a quality player who I would like to see start ahead of Pedro Porro when everyone comes back. Jed Spence deserves a starting spot in this team. The only positive for Postecoglou, I would say, is this. Whether I like it or not, teams fear Postecoglou. I went to the 6-3 game. I was in the stadium. Liverpool fans were like, they're scared. Anything can happen. And I think the only thing he does have is he has this thing where he can pull out a result. Because let's be real, that Tottenham team, that lineup was crap. I mean, I didn't think anything of that lineup. I've listened to people say they saw the lineup and they were excited. Excited about what? That is one of the worst. What? That is crap in terms of Liverpool's starting 11 and our team. But somehow, some way, we managed to score 3. Somehow, some way, we managed to win 1-0. So I don't know if there is something going on beyond that my eyes can see, but it seems to work sometimes. But I do think the players are running on empty, and I blame Postecoglou for that. We shouldn't be in this mess. And also, like, he does this thing where you don't have to play players, you rest them. Then it makes me think, why did we rush back Van de Ven and Romero only to lose them for 5-6 weeks? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. We would have had Romero and Van de Ven yesterday had he just left them one more week. That's the difference. And football's about fine margins, and we've just not had it. He's just not doing what I need him to do.
All right, guys, let's look at it tactically then, right? Because there's massive chat that Ange adapted completely, and we're not allowed to say Ange never adapts ever again. That's what I'm hearing. He did adapt, right? Everybody in agreement here. He did adapt yesterday, or was it Liverpool pushing us back with their possession?
I think he was under pressure, and he decided that. I think it just came naturally just for us to adapt, and that's it for me. I think because he's had ample of opportunity to do this before. Because I've been saying since banging on about it since Man City. I think even Aston Villa, we're a counter-attacking team. We're a counter-attacking team. We're not this. We're not a well-oiled possession team. I don't think we can do it. To be honest with you, I think we play in straight lines, and we're just too predictable when we try and play this possession football. For me, so I think what happened yesterday is that he probably got everyone to do the right sort of jobs that they're used to doing, really, and and it just worked against Liverpool. You know, learned from what Amorim did against them on Sunday. You know, to get them the draw.
So
At
you're saying,
Anfield.
Alex, it was a game plan to sit back deeper and not be so open. Is that what
Well,
you're saying?
yeah, there's more open, yeah, less open, yeah, because Liverpool was struggling to get space, and I have to give credit to Dejispurs because he kept Salah quiet. He did keep Salah quiet because Salah was hardly in the game. But yeah, it's just like that was the main thing for me. I think
Liverpool weren't themselves. I don't think, Alex.
I don't think they would.
I don't think he adapted really. There's only two things I saw that might have changed from before because of Solanke's like running on empty, as like Ange even said last game. I think he used Bergvall as the presser because Bergvall was playing almost as a second striker in the second half, and he did like when we're in without the ball, let's say, I did see Spence and Porro just drop into and make a flat four, but apart from that. I didn't like most of the game. We had, we were the team at home having most of the possession. I thought, and he was still inverting the fullbacks. I still noticed that. So I don't think in that respect he did.
Are you sure, Has? I've seen the heat maps. They weren't inverting. Why do you think that?
I mean, Spence, for example, Spence kept cutting in. Porro wasn't exactly playing wide. I thought he was more in field. When we were in possession, when we were out of possession, I think it was more like a flat four. That's what I thought anyway. But I don't know whether it was complete adaptation. I just well, that's your answer, I guess. But yeah, so I don't think he changed.
This is what I'm confused with, guys. Everybody's saying different things. Did he adapt? Was he forced
Another
back?
thing, though,
Nobody knows today. Nobody can say for certain.
We do know. In the press conference yesterday, he said he didn't adapt. It happened that the players played that way because they're knackered, and that's legit.
He said that.
Yeah, he basically said we tried to play our football, but it ended up being that way because they didn't have any more left. They gave all what they had. And it does make logical sense. You've got the same players playing every 3 games, and they just couldn't attack the way they wanted to attack. I think he said as much as like we couldn't attack Liverpool the way we wanted to, and so this is it. But my thing is that's where I have the concern. I would have preferred him to say we learned from the last game, and this was our game plan, rather than him saying because we ran out of legs, this is what we ended up with, mate. So because we ran out of legs, we've ended up with a win. Had we had the legs, that's what I'm saying to you. Had Van de Ven and Romero been there, they would have been so high up the bloody pitch, we probably would have lost the game. We couldn't get high because the guys had no legs and they were actually knackered. Do you get what I'm saying?
So he's basically just admitted that basically he didn't even adapt.
Yeah, he said that. He said they just couldn't do.
This is why I can't look at it. I don't get it, man. I just can't do it.
It's confusing, isn't it? Look, it's one game.
I can't do it. It's like this is why I can't do it.
That's why we play longer balls, because we couldn't exactly like play this tippy tappy stuff. So the players thought, "Fuck it," and just long balled it instead. Yeah.
They're tired. They couldn't. They were not going to outrun Liverpool yesterday, so we had to go long. And actually, we started to see the tiredness from the Newcastle game, because I said Solanke's header was the first cross I've seen from a Spurs team in about a year. I've not seen Spurs cross a ball into the box. Have you? But Porro crosses the ball in, and Solanke's surprise, heads it in because he's got no bloody legs. And I'm like, that's what we. When you've got a striker like Solanke up top, you should be whipping in balls like Darren Anderton. So he just knocks it with his head. I just don't get it. So let's not get it twisted. I think whilst the boys are on their last legs, it might actually work in our favour. Because as soon as all the injuries come back, we are going back to high possession football, and we're going to start to see the results like we have been, to be honest. I predicted 18 Premier League defeats, and I expect us to definitely have 15
This
plus
is
defeats this season.
this is where I can't. This is where the concern is, right? Because really, when you're looking at the form in the league, it does really look like the whole thing with Ramos. It just feels like it at the moment. You get what I'm saying? That's why the thing that really gets to me a little bit. We win today. The players were rubbish yesterday, last week, a couple of weeks ago. Like, oh no, he hasn't got bats. But now today, it's like generational talent, Archie Gray, generational talent, Burval. You know what I mean? Oh, Jed Spence, Jedi Spence. You know what I mean? You know, what is his name? But Basuma. Oh, he's proving people wrong. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't really get it. I think it's just. And then people tell me that, oh, well, you're wrong. You know what I mean? Oh, you're an idiot. And I'm like,
but Alex, this is only our first win in like 9-10 games, I think.
that's the point. I think that's where the context comes into it. You see what I'm saying? And it's just, I just don't see what he's doing to try and like develop the side. I think it's lucky that he's got he needs young players in the team to keep on playing these tactics, to keep this energy, keep this pressing going on, and that's it for me, you know. And I've got to be honest, the forwards, I'm not going to go over the top about Son, but Son for me, he's ruining him. He's absolutely ruining him.
You're right, Alex. 100%.
And he and Werner's just useless. And Johnson on the other side. I mean, you can't have Johnson and or Son on each side because it's just too similar. Same with Werner, too similar. No one's literally trying to take over on their man. You know what I mean? And that's where it just doesn't. I can't get excited, guys. I just cannot get excited.
The only positive thing I would say about Postecoglou is I feel like it's starting to dawn on him. So a number of things he said in the press conference that I've not heard him say. The first thing was he said that our performances in the league has been poor. So that's an acknowledgement that it's unacceptable, our performance in the league. And he said that to that extent. And then he also talked about the players being leggy, putting in the performance, wanting to win the cup. But I think the one that really struck me yesterday and made me feel that Postecoglou knows that his days are numbered unless a miracle happens, and the miracle being he's got to win the Carabao Cup, is he said he hopes that he's around to see the likes of Archie Gray, Bergvall, all the young ones, Kinski,
hopes
thrive at this club. So that tells me he knows. Do you get what I'm saying? And he's doing every little bit that he can to save his job. Part of me actually admires that, to be honest. It's not often a manager will come out and admit that the performances have been dreadful. And I mean, not of his ilk anyway. Do you know what I mean? He's come out and said it's been dreadful. And he's come out to say he hopes he's around when things go on the up. My thing is, if you really want to stick around, first of all, it's a little bit too late, to be honest. You should have done this a lot sooner in terms of your concern. He's going to need to pull a rabbit out of the hat, which is he's going to need to win the Carabao Cup, period. We don't win the Carabao
Cup. Save his job. That's the only thing, isn't it?
Save his job.
Yeah.
And he's like Eric Ten Hag. When I say save his job, I mean, he's got the first 7 games of next season. That's about it. You know what I mean? If the first 7 games ain't decent, it's gone.
Look, guys, we're going to get into that part of Ange, yeah? You know, what's coming up. But look, just stick with the game. I mean, look, I can't blame the fans for being that happy yesterday. Yeah, a lot of people, they were very, very happy, yeah? Like, ecstatic, you know. It was over the top, like we do, the fan base. But we've been so rubbish this season, something like that. Everybody suddenly wakes everybody up, doesn't it? It's like, oh, we beat Liverpool. We've got a puncher's chance now in that next leg. Now, guys, our attacking play, our wing play, and I think Alex or Deji, I can't remember, was rubbish, wasn't it? We just haven't got it. Yeah, Solanke worked hard. Yeah, give him that. He always works hard. Solanke. And Porro was a good couple of balls, right? But from an attacking sense, we just didn't have anything, did we, really? From an attacking point of view. I never thought we were going to score. And then we had that disallowed goal, which was a bit unlucky for Solanke. It was a good ball from Porro, wasn't it? A great run from Solanke. Very unlucky there. But if we take it back, kind of summarise the game, Liverpool weren't themselves. I think maybe they were playing it like it was a two-legged affair, wasn't it? So they didn't go all out in the first leg, knowing that they were kind of toying with us a bit. I think Liverpool, they could have stepped it up if they really wanted to.
I think they were playing for the draw, actually.
I think so as well, they were cautious. It was just like, when you have those Champions League games, over two legs where, the first game is always very cagey. No one wants to concede. It was a little bit like that, wasn't it? And but what we saw, Liverpool, they, 1-0 to them away from home and then taking it back to Anfield, they know they can turn that around easily. Yeah, come on, let's be real here. Yeah, the only way we're getting through this game is fluke. Yeah, Anfield, and we're gonna have to have the games of our life. Yeah, score a couple of worldies. Liverpool are gonna miss some sitters. That's the only way we're getting to that final. We've got to be honest.
I'm gonna say something that might upset the apple cart. Look, I respect Liverpool, man, and you got to remember the team that won the cup last season in the final against Chelsea, and then compare it with the team yesterday. So there's no way that I'm gonna poo-poo over. And I'm not saying anyone is. That performance yesterday, whether we like it or not, it was an epic performance. Forget what it was. That just to do that with that squad is brilliant. Because even with our first team, you would have been shaking your bum violently for that sort of performance. What I am going to say, which is kind of hypocritical of me, though, is that I think if we get through this, he deserves to stick around because Liverpool are that good.
What?
No, what we do the final, though?
I mean, do you know what? I think if we get to the final, so I'm going to say a couple of things, and this might go again against the apple cart. We scored 3 against Liverpool. We were shocking that day. Don't get it twisted. We conceded 6, but we scored 3. And I don't know how that attack even managed to score 1, let alone 3 goals. So that already raised concerns for me about either Liverpool's back line or maybe I'm not respecting our attack the way that I should. And then we won 1-0 yesterday. Remember, we beat United and we beat City as well. Yeah, so let's just qualify that. Someone said to me that they reckon we are guaranteed to get slapped up by Newcastle. Really? Why? When we played them at St. James's Park, we completely played them off the park. I thought we were unlucky to lose. And I was pleasantly surprised we only lost 2-1 last Saturday. So I think third time lucky. I basically, the point I'm trying to make is I can see Postecoglou, if we get past Liverpool, that is an epic. That he basically gets to finish the season because I think it's that big a result.
But what happens if we play Arsenal in the finals of Newcastle? I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion.
Even if I don't see Arsenal coming back. They're shocking. They're rubbish. But even then, I think
I'm going to put a twist on this, Deji. Yeah, I'm going to put a twist on what you said there.
I think you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, if he makes the final, then he should stay. But look, I've said this. Yeah, look at our next 10 Premier League fixtures. Yeah, I can't see us winning any, maybe one. Honestly, on the form we're in. Okay, the Liverpool performance was better. Did Ange adapt? Did he not? Who knows? Yeah, it's just one game, right? So saying we continue to lose in the league, we get closer to that relegation zone. Yes, we're in a final, whatever. Is this job still safe? I don't think it is, guys. Honestly,
I think he'll be here to the end of the season. I think he'll be here
even if he gets in a relegation battle, Alex.
Listen, I think at the moment the form that we're in at the moment in the league is terrible. and they still haven't sacked him. So, and you look at the managers that have got sacked right now. Dyche has just got sacked from
I can't believe they sacked
Everton.
Dyche, man. I still
So
can't believe
you know what I mean. So it's like, for me, I think they're backing him. I think they're backing him. I think
Why are they backing him?
Because it would have sacked him by now, mate. They would have
Yeah,
sacked him
but
by now
the question is, they're backing him because
they're not sacked him yet.
the Spurs fan base have put a trophy more important than a league position. So I agree with Dan, and Dan knows, and Alex, as you know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say we had a good season. Finishing 15th, 16th of the Carabao Cup, you must be smoking.
It's the same as Ramos. It's the same
I
as
would never
Ramos.
say that. It's the same as Ramos. However, what I am saying is, if we finish 16th, 15th with a Carabao Cup, he will keep his job. He gets to keep his job. I don't think it's acceptable. I personally wouldn't. I wouldn't even be talking about the Carabao Cup from a personal perspective. I'd be like, okay, Postecoglou's in charge. He must basically do like he did in his first season and win the first 10 games. But what he does do is he buys himself another seat at the table. There is no way when
Like Ten Hag,
the majority of everyone has lied to me on stream, battered me pink and blue, and said that a trophy is more important than anything else. And then this brother gives us a trophy, and you say it's not going to happen. If we get a trophy and finish 16th, the majority of Spurs fans will be happy with that. But as for me, I won't be. That's what I'm saying.
My issue is just and I stick by what I say. I would still sack him on the basis that he's not a coach. And I think the fact is that I think the players are going to go stale because they won't develop into the players that they could be. It's ironic that he's saying that, that the statement that you made, Deji, that he hopes to be around to see the players like Archie Gray, Berval, Kinski develop into the players that he thinks that they could be.
Yeah.
But the problem is that that's on you to encourage, to develop that. You see what I'm saying? And he's not using his coaches to do that. You see, he just keeps on doing these tactics, and ironically, it's the players have really gone against him, saying, "Well, we can't do your tactics anymore. We've got to do it our way now, because if we do it your way, we're going to get thrashed. We're going to get absolutely annihilated."
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so it's not a case of the trophy is important here. It's just I just can't, and it's not. I mean, I've just see a big up Eugene in the chat saying that moving the narrative, moving the goalpost. It's not moving the goalpost at all. It's just I'm just looking at it from this. I don't rate the coach. I don't rate him as a manager at the moment.
The only thing, sorry to cut you, Alex, the only thing that Postecoglou has in his locker is he has the unknown, and he plays on that. So what he does is he says, look at all these injuries. Because what he's planting is, if not for these injuries, we would not be losing, which I don't believe by any stretch. But but also there is this thing where, unfortunately or fortunately, we are looking at what Arteta did at Arsenal, and literally that is also the reason why Postecoglou is in the job for two reasons. We sacked Mourinho before the Carabao Cup final. I personally, I want to say right now, I was in agreement with that sacking, because at the time I felt that the players had no motivation. They were so low morale. I don't know what they would have done in that final. So when Tottenham fans tell me, but it's Mourinho, he would have got a tune out of them. I don't know how you get a tune out of players who are literally rock bottom. But again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. So because of that, Daniel Levy can't sack him now, because it's the same thing. He's about to get us to a final, and then you've sacked him. The second thing is the Arteta bloody story, which is Arteta in his second season finished 8th. Now look at Arsenal now. Or they might even go one step further and show us Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe, when he had injuries, suffered. When he didn't have injuries, look at them now. So because of that, that has bought Postecoglou time. I'm not saying, look, if Postecoglou wins the Carabao Cup, he stays to the beginning of next season. That is guaranteed. If he wins his first 10 games, or we are in the top 3, you know, at the beginning of next season, he's in the job still. I don't even think any of us would bemoan that. But I do agree with Alex. There is an argument. My thing about Postecoglou that I've seen is that he hasn't changed. He's just a gambler. And even gamblers win sometimes. That's just, you get what I'm saying? You play enough Russian roulette, and I'm not suggesting anyone should put their money on it, but I've done it. I put my whole mortgage on it once.
I want to say though, I do think there's a chance we can end up like, I do think relegation's a real thing, you know. I'm not going to write off because we've got Arsenal away next.
Yeah.
And then we've got, okay, if we lose to Leicester at home, I think we're in big trouble. Like, I really think we're in big trouble because I think we can easily get pulled into it. And obviously, look at Wigan. They went down and they won the FA Cup. Like, it's not out of the realms of possibility. With our league form, if we lose to Leicester, I think we're in massive trouble. I really do.
I think that there is a concern. There is a concern for me a little bit there because we need to pick up points. It's because also teams are moving their managers as well, so that's another thing as well. That
Everton away, it's going to be a tough game. We've got a new manager as well. I mean, you know.
Guys, let's say hello to Brian. Brian, how are you, man?
First of all, good evening to you, Dan. Thank you for sending me the link and allowing me to jump on. Deji, big up, brother, and to Mr. Box Office. And, of course, down in the relegation zone down here with me, Hasper. Hope everyone is good in the chat as well.
Yeah. I was just going to say before Brian came in as well, just to make everyone feel happy. I actually did the numbers, Hasper, just to please you. Should we do identical to what we've done in this first half of the season? That means we've lost 20 games, we've won 14, and we've drawn 6. So we stay up by the skin of our teeth. So just to lighten up the mood. Yeah, we get in on a squeaky 40 something points. There you go.
Because I think we could lose 21 games, if I'm being honest. I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Well, we've kind of gone off on a tangent. We've gone all over the place with this game. This game has given us a lot of talking points, man. It's blown it all up, isn't it? Yeah, everybody's all over the place where they're thinking. You know, we could win the Carabao Cup now. Oh, you know, it doesn't matter too much about the league form. If we win a cup, everything's all right. There's a lot going on. The fan place is all over the place, and I get that. Yeah, it's not been a good season, and any kind of glimmer of hope of winning a trophy, most are going to jump onto it, and I get that. Now, should we just talk about that second leg? Is there any chance at all we can get through that leg, that tie, beginning of February? Big up Eugene for jumping on as well. How are you, buddy? I don't know if you wanted to take that one first.
Thanks, Dan.
And we'll go round.
Guys, good to see you. Brian, Deji, Alex, Haz. Good to see you guys. Yeah. Oh, chances are pretty slim. It just depends on where Liverpool are in the league compared to Arsenal and Chelsea. I'm not sure if the game is midweek and if there's an FA Cup fixture after, or if there is a league game after. If there's any chance they might be concerned more about the league and play a weaker team, we might nick a draw. I'm not counting on it, but hey, you know, I'm going to hope. I would say maybe 20% chance we can get a draw. We'll see, but I'm not expecting it.
Okay. Brian, what's your thoughts on that second leg?
Yeah, I mean, look, let's be brutally honest. Going into that game last night, I thought we were going to get a walloping. Yeah. I really did. I'm not. Listen, I won't.
I think most of us did, Brian. To be honest,
and listen, it wasn't not so much. Do you know what? It wasn't even about how weak we would be. It was how strong Liverpool would go.
Yeah.
And let's face it, Liverpool went strong.
Yeah.
Liverpool went strong yesterday, and I haven't listened to all yours, but I think if we not overlook what happened yesterday, I think the defence, which has been shaky, looked a lot better because they had the confidence of Kinski. With him being able to actually distribute the ball. Yes, there's only been one game, but rather than these players passing the ball back and then panicking, oh shit, where have I got to go? Where have I got to be? Is this going to be a shitstorm? They're like, no, he's got the ball. I'll stay forward, stay that little bit. So it was a very, very disciplined performance yesterday, and they got the job done. It was resilient. And listen, going to Liverpool, I always say we've got slim to none, and because of our history at Everton, at Liverpool. Do I still think we can do it? Yeah, I think we can do it, but it's a cup game. It's a one-off, but we'll see where we are. Listen, 1-0 at Liverpool is not a very, very big lead when you've got a history with us going to Anfield. But if someone said to me, will I take a 1-0 win and hope... You can remember this as well. We can actually lose that game 2-1 or by 1 goal and it goes to penalties.
Yeah.
So we have got that. Don't get me wrong. Do I think Liverpool come out and then the Anfield roar and the cop will drag them through? Probably. But after all the doom and gloom that we've had over the last, month and a bit, apart from Southampton and that win at Man U, we're 90 minutes away from Wembley at the moment, as it speaks. And I'm going to enjoy that little bit there. 90 minutes away from Wembley. Yeah, Lethal's got to get better, but Anfield is always going to be a very, very tough place because we just don't do well there. But can we do it? We'll see. Are
you a dreamer, Brian? Are you a dreamer? Are you a dreamer?
Listen, when it comes to my football, listen, all we've got is dreams. And normally they turn into nightmares. but right now, we've got a little bit of a dream. We are 90 minutes away from Wembley. We don't know who's going to be fit. What we do know is Maddison and Sarr will be available to add extra depth because their suspensions are gone. Whether they're fit enough or haven't picked up an injury by then, who knows? But listen, we've won the game 1-0. Things need to improve everywhere else. But right now, we've won a first leg of a semi-final. And you know what? Yesterday, I was absolutely delighted for every single player. And I was delighted for Ange. Ange has come in for a lot of heat, and deservedly so. For certain things. But if we can't give a bit of praise, people are very, very, very quick to handle criticism and throw it away and literally be very forthright. And I'm one of them when it comes to a certain area of this football club. But when we've had so little to cling on to, I enjoyed yesterday. Could it have been better? Yeah. Should it have been better? Probably. But it's a 1-0 win and we go to Anfield with at least a bit of hope and optimism rather than doom and gloom.
I don't think it's doom and gloom, though. Go on, Andrew.
No, just one thing and I'll be quiet. The reason why, because I was in the comments, if Ange sets us up the way he did yesterday, we have a better chance. Because I know you guys have been saying, and I saw in the comments, that he doesn't adapt.
Did he adapt, Eugene and Brian? Did he adapt, or was it tiredness what played into our hands? What is it?
Last couple of games, Newcastle as well, our back line is deeper, 10, 20 yards. We don't seem to invert. At least Spence on the left wasn't inverting as much. And then the big thing is our pressing is usually like full steam ahead. We press all the time. And I felt like our pressing wasn't as hectic. Solanke pressed a bit and then we backed off. And I feel like, again, like I wasn't at the game. I know, Alex, you're at games and I've asked him to the game.
You didn't fly over for the game. You're such a...
I wish I did. Yeah, exactly. I'm a bad fan. But so...
You're not a bad fan.
He didn't travel from San Diego. How dare he?
I'm a bad fan. I think it's unfair a bit to say, he doesn't usually adapt, but I feel like last few games, especially yesterday, given how Liverpool killed us the first time, I feel like he did adapt. So if we play on the counter in the second game, if we sit back more, I think we're gonna have a chance. But
Eugene,
just my opinion.
Solanke, I think he stopped pressing because he's just knackered. I don't think it was anything to do with tactical. I just think he was because in the second half, Bergvall was the guy pressing because Solanke didn't have the legs to do it. I mean, obviously we benefited from it because obviously Bergvall had that chance because of Alisson's mistake of it. So we could have scored then. But I don't think he really changed anything really that much. Like the only things I'm going to just repeat what I said earlier. I think he still inverted the fullbacks when we were in possession. When we're out of possession, we played a flat back four. That's what I thought. And I just don't think he really adapted. I just think we just kind of got a bit lucky in some respects. And I think Liverpool turned up for a draw and they didn't get the draw because I only saw them clinging to gear once we scored. Like they only kind of woke up then.
You know what?
I take issue with that slightly. I'm with Brian on this. You know, you don't put out the team Liverpool put out and say they came for a draw. That team is designed to win.
They did change through the back four, you know.
They are monsters. But what I'm trying to say, when you're playing Jota, Salah, Gakpo, who are all in form, that team is there for ultimate devastation. Yeah. They came to kill us, and they were unable to kill us yesterday for whatever reason. And if you listen to Slot, he would say that's why they were they wanted to win. They wanted to put the game to bed so that they could chill in the second leg. Yeah.
And Van Dijk said at the back, he actually said he saw different defensive setup from us than the first game.
Yeah, they weren't themselves, Liverpool guys. They weren't themselves. They weren't their normal Liverpool team.
Result,
Liverpool is Liverpool, and when you look at the lineup, it's Salah, it's Van Dijk, it's Jota, it's Gakpo, it's McAllister, it's all the players that have put them where they are. So you got to put some respect.
They also played. What was it? Chimikas.
Yeah, all of it.
Bradley.
Yeah, but look at
you know what I don't want. Can I just say this? And I know Brian's going to say as well, but you can't poo-poo Liverpool's team. Then what do you say about our team?
We played the best team we could put out.
Yeah, mate, but that's not our strongest lineup, is it?
Mate, you look at as you look at this, Conor Bradley is a very good player. I'd have him at Spurs in a heart. I would have him at Spurs in a heartbeat, in all honesty. Mo Salah, who is probably one of the most, if not the most informed player in the Premier League, was anonymous yesterday. Whether you want to say he was tired, whatever. Look at someone like Dominic Solanke, who I adore. I fucking adore Solanke. I absolutely. Does he need to get more goals? Yeah.
Well,
his work rate. He does not stop running. His work rate for the team. That guy is running on fumes.
Can I ask something?
Go on.
So can I just ask a question? Why are you so annoyed of Solanke?
Why am I so annoyed of Solanke?
Because he works hard. That's what
he
does.
See, this is where I get frustrated. All with you, people have. I've seen this before. Dominic Solanke came in, and one of the things I have waxed on or gone on about over and over again is this guy had the number one. He was the top striker in the Premier League last season for headed goals.
Yeah.
The number one striker. So you bring in a striker, and normally to get him the goals, you need to give him the ammunition.
And cross it.
The only person I trust in that entire squad to cross the ball on a dime for him is Pedro Porro, like Newcastle. The only one I trust in whipping a ball, if one ball needs to go in, so we've bought a striker that can score, that needs assistance, and I would describe what we did in the transfer window, not buying him quality to give him quality balls and the ammunition he needs. It's like giving a guy that's only got a left leg a right foot shoe. What's the point of giving the guy? You look at his work rate and his pressing. The whole reason he was to lead that press, to lead that work rate, and put in like we did with Pochettino. When Kane went, then Dele, Eriksson, and Sonny went. Then everyone went. We ain't got anyone that does it. He has now got 18 goal contributions. Yes, his goals should be more. Go check out Dominic Solanke's stats against the Big Six. Go check them out. He's played. I think he's played them 7 times. He's got. I think it's 5 goals, 3 assists,
I'm not arguing this. I'm not arguing the stats. I'm just the point. The point I'm making is that I think the manager's not playing him right. I've got to be honest.
The thing is, what you've got to remember, you've got to remember, he's the only at the moment. He is the only option.
Well,
he
yeah,
is
for me, I think he should be doing. I think he should be doing more of the work with a partner for me. Or try because for me, I do think he works very hard. But I mean, one, he's gonna tick it. His hand's gonna tick. That's one thing, and two, I think because of his hard work he's doing, I think he's stopping from doing what he's supposed to be doing, scoring the goals, and that is for me. I don't disagree, Alex. I think he's just. I think Areola for me is used him better than what Ange is using him.
That's not Alex. Where you're right, I think he needs to be the amount of hold-up play he does and starting the attacks with his running, whatever. Yes, I'd rather see him in the penalty box. Yes, I'd rather see him in the area. But he's been told to play this way. Yeah. He's been told to play this way. I heard you mention before, Dan, a player, and I'll tell you what, if we had in his prime Darren Anderson in this team, he'd be getting 20 plus goals by now. He'd be absolutely, but he's got no one there. Solanke, I think Alex, I agree with you. We're not getting the best out of him because of the way we're playing. Yeah. But what he's doing, not playing to the best way that suits him, I think I honestly think his work rate is getting very underrated, and his actual overall performances are not getting the credit they do.
What I'm interested in, guys.
Overworked, personally.
I agree.
I don't think he's as good as what people are saying.
I think
he's better.
Right, I was going to say.
I'm in the middle about Solanke.
Solanke is a quality striker. Because Brian,
what do you mean by quality?
I've been saying
quality.
Well, you got to look at you talk about context, yeah. And my biggest thing that I've been moaning about is the fact that we brought in a £65 million striker that we don't even aim for. So when you look at the wingers, Werner and Brennan Johnson, their job is to Brennan Johnson's job is to hit it hard and low across the box for Werner, hard and low across the box for Brennan Johnson. They're not aiming for Solanke. Solanke's job is quite simply to be a donkey. Run around, work hard. If you get a goal, great. That's why we talked about the fact that Pedro Porro's cross into the box. Forgive me.
It's a miracle, really.
The first proper cross I've seen. I've not seen us cross in a long time.
That's why I say that he should be more up the pitch.
But it's an argument, isn't it? The player's not crossing the ball into the area. It's an instruction.
Yeah, it's not Solanke.
Yes, it's not
happening.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
It's the ability too. Look, Johnson cannot cross and Sonny cannot cross, so we don't have the wingers who are able to actually put it across, which is a recruiting issue.
I kind of agree.
This is my issue. This is my issue. This is my issue right now. Yeah, we got this transfer window. Yeah, right. The forwards he's brought in, right, have been awful. I'm sorry, I can't even lie anymore, right. So I mean, I'm very nervous that he's going to get even more money to get even more bang average forwards for me. I'm sorry, I can't.
Muani, most likely.
You know what I mean? It's just not. That's where I can't.
But
you know what I mean? I think
he's
had a lot of chances to get even that. What is it? That winger that we got for free last season. Yeah.
No.
I mean Solomon. I mean, he's doing really well at the moment.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Let me say something. Ange said that they're looking at bringing somebody in to help Solanke.
It's probably
and I did mention this yesterday. Is this a winger, or is this another striker? What are people's thoughts on that? What Ange said.
I think it's probably Muani, most likely, because he can play all across the front. So he'll probably use him left, right, middle. I think. On Solanke, I just want to say something. I kind of sit in the middle with this. Like I kind of sympathize with Solanke a lot because I think he gets overworked with the pressing because he's the only one in our team that presses the right way, I think. And at the same time, because he doesn't get supplied the way he wants to get supplied, he drops deeper. So it kind of hurts him in that respect. At the same time, I don't class him as the same level as someone like Isak, because I think Isak is like levels above Solanke. Like I think he's a good. I think Solanke is a good striker, kind of like when we had Defoe sort of esque back in the day. Not like the
They're
elite,
different strikers, aren't they?
Below.
They're different.
Yeah, but like, no, I'm saying in terms of like the quality, not in terms of the style of which they play. But like, I don't think he's like a world-class striker. He's a good striker. I just think he's not.
$65 million. He's phenomenal. He's $150 million striker. Oh no, I'm just saying for $65 million right now, there are no good strikers out there.
No. I'm not saying we should go.
So for the price,
I'm just trying to say like I don't know. I sit kind of in the middle of
it.
He doesn't get help because the system is ironic because everyone says Solanke would fit the system, but I kind of think he doesn't because he kind of gets overworked. And then if you're going to supply Solanke, we don't put enough crosses in for him anyway. So I kind of sympathize with him in that respect.
That's why he fits the system.
Isak is for me. I adore him. I think he's my favourite striker in the Premier League right now. Same. Above Haaland, not saying he's better. I think Isak is an incredible footballer. What you were just saying has Solanke. Oh, wait a minute. Isak, though, does have a quality winger next to him in Gordon. A quality winger that will put balls on a plate for him. And he also has a brilliant midfielder in Guimaraes and a workhorse like Joel Linton. So getting the ball to Isak, don't get me wrong, Isak does a lot of the work himself, but he's got the right supporting cast to help him. Dominic Solanke is the perfect striker for Ange's system if he has the wingers that he needs. It's all part of the. You look at Newcastle's midfield now; that three have got everything. They all support each other. They've all got. We need honestly. I reckon if we go and get a decent, and I mean a quality winger that can deliver quality regularly, then you see the best of Solanke. One of the reasons Solanke was brought in was because of his press, because of his work rate, because of his heading ability. Well, you can see his work rate. You can see his work rate. You can see his pressing.
That's not what I'm criticizing, but anyway. Yeah.
No, you're not criticizing. I'm saying to get the best out of Solanke, we need support. Isak has got quality skill to get away from people.
Who could we bring in?
Showboating, everything is brilliant.
It's Mawani, isn't it? Everybody's talking about this guy.
Solanke, you need a pure winger or to push Porro as the right way.
The thing is, though, Johnson's going to be here still, right? You only got the Yeoman Hook person, yeah? Son, who's not a winger, but you've still got Son at the moment. So you got three wingers at the moment, yeah? Forget Werner, because if we keep Werner, get rid of Ange straight away at the end of the season. So I'm sorry. If he's allowing that guy to stay for another season, he's getting free lane. I'm sorry, I'm done with him. Sorry. You know what I mean? See Eugene smart. It makes me smile. It makes me smile, bruv. But big up to you, by the way. Even though we don't agree, big up to you, bruv. You know what I mean? But it's just like I don't see what other sports we've got. You know what I mean? So I see the same problems next season. I see the same problems.
The problem is that the quality of wingers and the type of wingers Ange has signed do not fit how to get the best out of Solanke. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, he doesn't sign wingers like, the old school Bale, Lennon, and we used to play with under Renap, who'll get the ball, go on the byline, put a good cross in for like Crouch or whoever it was up front. Exactly. Like, we get wingers who for some reason cut in, even though I get told the wingers are supposed to play wide. Because, like he said, Son ain't on a winger. He's always going to cut in. For Werner, for some reason, cuts in a lot. I don't know why. And Johnson can't take on his man. But again, Ange dropped 50 million on Brennan Johnson. He scored his goals, but does he really help Solanke in terms of scoring goals? No.
Also, about this guy, yeah, Mawani. Come on, all of you. I want to hear what you really think about this guy because it sounds like he's coming, right?
I don't know about Mawani. But what I will say, right, which is Andrew's missed the trick with this, by the way, right? Why does he not play Maddison on the wing? Tell me why.
Because he likes players to, in theory, beat their man and whip it in, and Maddison's slow.
And pace, exactly. He's lacking pace to make those runs that Johnson is making.
Yeah.
But
I'd play him on the wing. That's not a bad idea, Alex. I actually agree. But he's just lacking pace to make those runs.
Because I
And
think
the
you
work
can then
rate.
fit in Madison and bloody and Kulusevski. And let's be honest here. Yesterday we missed him. Let's be honest here. We missed him yesterday, didn't we? Come on now. Because we had no creativity, didn't we? Really, other than the ball over the top.
I would love to take a stab at this question as well. Sorry, guys.
Go first.
And just to qualify Brian's point, I actually think Spurs play well at Anfield. We've just been unlucky. I know we don't get the result, but actually our performances, generally speaking, have always been pretty decent, including last season. And I just think it's in the air. It's not tactical. It's not logical. But people keep saying the treble's still on, and I keep saying as much as I want Postecoglou gone, at the same time I do think he's crazy enough to do the trophy, and the fact that Alex is starting to feel the tingles in his belly that he's seeing the one day Ramos vibes, and that means Alex is basically telling us he feels the trophy coming. But anyway, let's talk about Moani. Moani for me is. I've watched when he first burst into the scene for France. I was like, "Oh, this is a top quality player." I'm reading that he's not played. He's played hardly any football for PSG. That don't fill me with joy. And I'm looking at him, and I just think I'm just getting Pogba vibes, and I could just be wrong, but I don't know what he's gonna bring. He's not quick enough for me. He's not aggressive enough for me, and all of the kind of big players, the Onanas, the Pogbas, that kind of stature, they've all kind of been
He
crap.
works hard, Deji. He definitely works hard, I've heard.
No. So for me, personally, I don't want to see Moani at our club because when he was at his best for France, he was playing in the 10. I think he was playing behind Benzema, or was he playing? He was playing behind someone. I don't remember him being the out and out striker unless I've completely forgotten. But I don't remember him being the target man, and he can't displace Solanke for me. He's not ready to. He's selfless and tireless. Solanke's humble enough and actually doesn't mind doing the dirty work. And you want to bring in a French World Cup winner here to come and run around like a donkey. No, it's not going to happen.
I think one is like a typical low risk, high reward signing by Spurs as normal. Like, because they'll get him in on loan and then he'll probably have like an option. Most likely they'll try and get him on an option because he's kind of like Werner last January, except just a bit better. Like one, he's 3 years younger than Werner. He's been on the outskirts of PSG. He's not played much football. And they obviously want to get rid of him because they need to get some money back for him. They dropped big money on him. I can't remember what it was, 80 million or something, whatever it was. No. And he's like, he could come good, but it's like a gamble because on paper he's got attributes which are like good. Like I've seen him play for France and for Frankfurt and for like a bit for PSG. But I think bring him because he can play all across the front, so it's versatility. So he'll probably use him left, right, middle, I don't know where else. But it's just a gamble signing. There's a 50-50 chance he'll succeed.
He's only had one decent season, stat-wise. Goals and assists, one out of the last 4 or 5.
I actually like him as a player, but I just there's no guarantee he's going to be like a really good player, if that makes sense.
So look, the best thing... The best thing he's done is win a World Cup for Messi with that miss at the very end of the game. Yeah. This team needs a surefire starter, and this team needs mentality. I've seen a lot of players like him who have all the talent in the world, individual talent, but I'm not sure if the mentality is there. And we need a surefire starter on that right-hand side, and we need the mentality. And if we get a loan with the option, I'm okay with that, as long as it's not an obligation.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is we're going to pay 30 million, 40 million. It's going to be a mistake. And then we're not going to go get anybody for the next 15 years. So as long as it's an option, I'll bring him in, but I don't rate him as a player. I want a surefire starter, and I want some mentality and leadership. And he's just not.
I agree with you, Jen, for once.
Yeah. I just don't. Yeah, I just don't.
If we agree, it's a fact.
Listen, when it comes to Moani, I've said it before. I can't confess. I've got to confess. I don't know enough about him. I really, really don't know anything about. Listen, what I've seen by all Spurs fans, I've seen everything from, oh my God, this guy is amazing, to all the way to the other end of the spectrum of hearing he's the French Timo Werner. So I'm like, this is true to all Spurs fans. Where if you haven't seen him, you go watch a 3-minute clip on YouTube and like, oh my God, does he have attributes that will suit Tottenham and the way he play? He's rapid, but I don't know enough about him. And like people said, he had one good season in Germany. Could it be he comes to Tottenham and rediscover something?
No.
Don't know. Could he be like has alluded to, like a Timo Werner that came in where it's a gamble? All I will say compared to the two, obviously Werner we knew for years he'd been on the decline and getting to the age. I don't know enough about Mawani.
Ndombele.
Well, what you see when someone says that word, it's never like it's not exactly like a glowing reference, is it? When someone says Ndombele, you're like, stay away. But you never know.
Can we for once get somebody?
There's someone in the chat called Johnny Scapoulis, and he this is what I'm talking about. This would have filled me with more joy, and I would have felt like there's a bit more ambition. Yeah, Edison from Atalanta, Cunha, Delap, Mitoma. You know, like for me, I would have even gone for Semenyo. I would have gone for Kirkes or Robertson, like solid players who as soon as, like Eugene is saying, as soon as they land at N17, they hit the ground running a little bit like Kinski. This Mawani thing could be, and it just screams Ndombele. I don't know where he fits in. He's not a striker. He's not a 10. He's not a bloody winger. So we're just bringing this guy in for his name. It's ridiculous. It's like, no. I rather we went for less of a name and something more concrete than this rubbish. I would have preferred. Is it Coleman? Is it the one that Bayern Munich, the Frenchman who hardly gets a game?
Kingsley.
Yeah, Kingsley. Yes, he hardly plays. He's a proper winger.
Deji, let me ask you a question then, because like you said, he could be a forward, he could be a winger, he can be a 10. Do you reckon this is not just? Do you reckon this is more? It's a guy that can fill in multiple positions, rather than saying rather than finding a player that's genuinely we need a winger, or we need a striker, or we need a 10. Let's say. Why not just get one that covers all three rather than looking for a specialist in one position?
It's worse than that. It's called.
It's worse than that.
It's worse than that, Brian. It's called ego. And these guys are so out of touch with the ground and the fan base. I genuinely think because things have been so bad, he's the only name available. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, if we bring you Mawani, the Spurs fans will calm down. We've done business and they'll relax. I literally think that's the reason. Because I can't actually understand it. And the thing is, they're gonna go bring this brother in. He's rubbish. I know.
He's deadly though. You know when we saw Harry Kane that summer, we were linked with Colin Mawani a long time, I remember. So I think they're just revisiting it because he's on.
Tottenham revisit a transfer.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Haz? Yeah, you're so far gone, mate. We never do that. We never.
I'm so tired of us only being linked with somebody who's either on the last year of his contract or transfer listed. How come we cannot be linked with somebody who other team wants, who's the best player on a team? Every time it's he's not getting any playing time on PSG. Let's go get him. I'm tired of it. I want a top player.
I agree with you, I'm just saying what the situation.
That's why I'm saying that we need a coach, because the thing is though, he has to fit the system. That's what I've been told. He has to fit the system. So there's always going to be a problem with the quality of the player, you know, because I want
a player who's proven it at the high level on a different team, and we just go and we say, you know what, we're going to pay you more money. We're going to get that player versus he's not working out. Now we're going to get him on loan.
Eugene, if you could do that, just say we're going to pay the money, if you could buy a player, and ask all of you in the Premier League right now, let's not get say a Haaland or whatever.
Yeah.
If you could go, I'll tell you mine straight away. And Eugene, I think you know where I'm going to go.
I've got 5, Brian. Ask me after. I've got 5 of them. 6.
Well, do you know what? If there's one player I could buy in the Premier League right now, they're doing very, very well in their team right now, and I idolise this guy. I wish we got him over Maddison and Eze. Is Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yeah, you like him, don't you? Yeah.
That guy comes in. Our midfield is I think Morgan Gibbs-White is unbelievable. I wish we'd got him. I love that kid.
He won the World Cup.
And Cunha and Morgan Gibbs-White, and then we're cooking with gas. Then we're a good team.
Yeah,
love him.
Great. I'd also bring in as a replacement, not very expensive. I'll take Semenyo over Brennan Johnson all day, every day.
Yeah.
And I'll take Kirkes or Robertson as left back cover from.
Oh, Fulham! I love Robertson.
I mean, come on! I mean, these are not expected. These are all 30 mil buys, easy, light work.
But I think he'll ruin them. I think he'll ruin them. I think he'll ruin them. Unfortunately, this is where I have an issue with the manager. This is why I've got an issue with the manager. I think he'll ruin them, like he's doing with Kulu at the moment. Not that I rate him that much, but I'm just saying, I just think he will ruin them. The way that he plays.
He's been amazing this year, Alex.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think he's been good. I keep on saying he's good. He's not amazing. I don't think he's.
I mean, compared to everybody else, he's been our most consistent player this
guys,
year.
I'm going to mix things up now. I'm going to move it forward a bit. Yeah, this team we have is surely better than it's in that league position. I'm convinced it is. Right.
Completely.
I'm not going to talk about another manager right now. We could do later, but we should be higher in that league with that set of players. Yeah, Ange is not getting the most out of them. He's tactically setting us up wrong. And we are where we are due to Ange, in my opinion. Let that one go. Who wants to go on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right.
Eugene's
Eugene, you're 100% spot on, man, because, look, you don't beat Villa, you don't beat Liverpool, you don't beat City if you haven't got something there. And I've argued and I said I thought our squad as a whole was better than the Arsenal squad. And I think today I've been proved right, because if Arsenal had the same number of players missing, they don't get a result against anyone. And I mean, these guys are huffing and puffing because Saka wasn't playing against Newcastle, for crying out loud. So what's happened is that in his... So I happen to know that Postecoglou is a big James Bond fan. I think Goldfinger and Casino Royale has been his 2 biggest movies. He's just a gambler.
He's a madman.
He's a madman. Let me tell you this. If he had just done a draw at Newcastle, maybe a draw at home to Arsenal, and we had beaten Leicester, I don't think we have kittens. And the Brighton result. If he had just got through those 4 games, nobody's talking about Postecoglou losing his job. No one's having kittens. We might still argue whether he's the right man for the job or not. But that would be about it. But what he done is, in flopping those games, he ran out of lives. Yeah? And now, everyone's run out of patience. And literally, I personally believe he's a game or 2 away from genuinely getting the sack. So yes, with that squad as is should be top 6. And given that everyone else has been pretty crap, I mean, what this season we've got Liverpool's the best team out of a bad bunch. Arsenal's crap, City's nowhere to be seen, Chelsea's rubbish. Do you know what I'm saying? Villa's not all that, Newcastle's not all that. It's a disgrace that in a season where teams are rubbish, we've decided to be hovering around bloody West Ham. We're hovering and holding hands with West Ham.
Man U.
That to me is unacceptable.
The difference is Liverpool got a coach, right? That, let's be honest here, looked very relaxed after the game, right? Because I was sitting there thinking, and I looked at Van Dijk, he's relaxed, even though he was annoyed about that Berva who should have got sent off, right? And he's sitting there thinking, we got them at Anfield. We'll see what happens there. You know what I mean? He'll lick their wounds.
Brother.
Then you've got Arsenal, right? who are under pressure. Now, I do think we've got a chance. I think you've got to make a, and don't get used to this. I mean, don't get used to this. Me saying this, by the way, yeah, because you don't get a lot of positives from, you don't get a lot of optimistic things from me, yeah, for reasons, yeah, because I'm not a flip flop. Let's just get that right all day long. Mr. Box Office, don't do that anytime, any place, anytime. You know what I mean? And don't smile, Deji. Don't smile, Deji. Yeah, keep that smile off your face, bruv. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's business time. My point is, yeah, you know what I mean? I was only joking. I'm only joking, you bro. But yeah, Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal are going to be a test as well, right? Okay, and they've got. I think Arteta's floundering at the moment. Chelsea have got a coach. Let's be honest here as well. You see Nuno at the moment, right? I am a little bit impressed with Amarin. I've got to be honest, right? You know what I mean? So, you know, and West Ham have now got in Graham Potter, you know, and Everton are starting to do things as well now because they don't like their manager now. They've got rid of their manager. So, you know, I just think at the moment I do feel that, you know, he's got a lot. He's got a lot to prove right now for me.
Ange's walking a tightrope, guys. We have to be honest.
The only thing difference is, and I'm going to stick by it. He's getting backed because I stick by what I say. His record is awful, and Daniel Levy will not be happy with that, and he would have sacked him by now. So, but at the moment, he is backing him. And that's where I've got to sit there and say, I can't have a guy at the board at the moment, because what I did say in June 2023, I need to see us go through a bad spell and then stick with the manager. They're sticking with the manager right now. There's no way also they're going to sack this manager until the end of. I don't even think they're going to sack him next season. I don't even think they're going to do it.
If we see how Ange is acting, if we watched him last night, how stressed he was. You know, when we missed that chance, well, it was Porro, wasn't it? He tried to chip the goalie, but he should have just let it, you know, he should have just let it rip into the net. But he was stressed. And even his post-match interview, he was getting questioned. You just look at that guy. He is properly stressed and under pressure. He knows the situation he's in.
I think that, you know, earlier in the season, people were saying, why isn't Ange being active on the touchline, giving excuses for it, saying, well, that's just how he is. Now, in recent games, he's starting to be more active on the touchline.
Very animated.
More animated, because he knows he's under pressure. Like, he knows it could all go to crap, basically. And also his press conferences, like you alluded to, he bites back to the media. I think he's kind of losing his head a bit. I said that a few weeks ago, but I think he's feeling the pressure massively. And I think with the links to Iriola and it was Thomas Frank last week, and it was in the media, I do think he probably hears about this sort of thing. Like, I don't think managers don't hear about this sort of thing. What? And with Levy's past, talking to Ramos behind Martin Yole's back, for example, I think he'll be wary of that as well. He even said he knew what was getting into. So I think he's feeling the pressure massively. And like I said, if we lose to Leicester, I think he's cooked.
Quickly, guys, I just want to mention something very quickly. Big up to everyone in the chat. There's some fantastic comments tonight. Honestly, really been on point. Yeah, so thank you, everybody in the chat. I mean, honestly, there's been some really good comments, and sorry I haven't been able to read them all out, but yeah, I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry, Eugene.
I wanted to say this before I leave. Is that okay?
Go for it, man.
Go ahead.
So I do think that my issue and why I've started to pivot on Postecoglou is just a simple lack of humility. Because actually what's happening with him is not dissimilar to what's happened under Eddie Howe and a few other managers. But where I thought it was inexcusable was when he said things like, I trust Fraser Forster, or I'm not playing Jed Spence. A lot of the issues that we've seen this season is not because of circumstance. I would say it's out of choice. You chose to do this. You chose to stick with this. You chose to, you know, with a back line of Jed Spence, Archie Gray, Dragusin, Porro, think you can attack them even though they're in their own position. Like, it's your choice. So that's why I don't have any sympathy for him. Had he, you know, shown a bit more humility, maybe a bit more pragmatism, then I would have been like, you know what? guys, the circumstances has meant he's in a mess, but I trust this guy. I don't trust him. And I have to say, 10 games in 20 is a disgrace. I don't give a damn what anyone says. You should leave. You should, even if we weren't paying you, you should lose your. If you were volunteering, you should lose your job, let alone be getting paid. And as for me, unless he's got and he's been quite smart now, and I think time will tell, and we will see this. So he's now sold himself the narrative, and this is where the nail's in the coffin, which is when the players get back, we will start winning. Well, make sure you win. So, because if you don't, you're gone.
Dej, I don't know if you're and I friends anymore. No, I kid. So look,
you know what I'm saying,
let me go on around, and you guys know I've been defending Ange. Not to say that he is blameless. I blame him for injuries, for poor substitutions, for not including Reguilon and Spence in the Europa games, not playing them in cups. But let's look at all the losses that we've got. We've only gotten beaten by more than one goal. That was against the Liverpool, 6-3. I've been defending Ange because almost every single game that we lose 2-1, 1-0. Our attackers have so many chances that they don't put away. So I feel like a lot of the times Ange puts them in position to execute, to do well, and they just don't because we don't have the quality that's good enough to execute. Again, as you know,
Eugene, sorry, buddy, but if you haven't got the quality, then you adjust the team to get the results. You don't persist with something that's not working.
But ultimately, look at Pep, right? He won.
But Pep had all the top players, man. He had all the big signings, all the money.
Right? No, but
he took time.
No, but I'm saying he won. You know, when they won on the losing streak, he won 2 out of 12, and the reason is the players are mentally tired. Some are checked out, some injuries. If you look at Arsenal, Saka is out. When Odegaard was out, they were struggling. So I feel like regardless of your tactics, if the players are not good enough, the players are just not good enough. All our games are close, right? Like they can go either way. A lot of the games, again, all our games are 1-goal games. And I feel like if we would have signed Eze in the summer, if we would have gotten that one player who makes a difference, we would be in the 6th or 5th right now. That's just me. But
I'm not sure.
Saying all that,
I'm not sure about that. But fair enough. That's your opinion, man.
But saying all that, look, give him the cups, and next year, if it doesn't work out, second. Right now, I don't want to see a mid-table manager. I don't think it's going to make any difference.
He's not going anywhere at the moment, Ange, anyway, is he? So we can talk about getting him sacked to blue in the face. He's here at least until February, isn't he?
Yeah. Just give him all year. I said, give a manager 2 years, see what the manager can do. And, you know, I think Sean or somebody was saying he is the guy before the guy, right? He might not, I don't think he is the long-term solution for us, but I think he might be the guy who can instill certain philosophies. And personally, for me this year, it doesn't matter.
I get that. Yeah,
I want to see a plan for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So that's how I'm looking at it.
This is what
we go round everybody, Alex. Let's go round everybody feeling on the manager. Got you, Alex. You go. Deji, if you've got to jump, man, you let us know, man, when you're ready.
Yeah, I got to jump now, but I'm going to listen back. It's just because I've got an early start. But also, Lord Rodney, he's about to have his first child. So congratulations.
Big up, Lord.
Brian, big up to you. As per you, Dean, Dan.
Good luck, man. Hope it goes well.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Deji, everybody, please subscribe to Deji if you haven't. Thanks, Deji, for jumping on, man. It's been a great stream. Cheers, man. Speak to you soon.
Can I just ask Lord Rodney, and he probably knows what I'm going to say. If it's a girl, are you naming it Sigourney after a famous actress? And if it's a boy, are you naming it Dave after Rodney? It is all I will say. Many congrats, brother, to whenever the good day comes. Don't call it Daniel, whatever you do. Okay, so you're going to call it Dave. Love that, man. Love that, man.
Hope it all goes well, man. It's big news.
Yes. Yeah, just to segue very respectfully. Yeah, listen, I don't really believe whether this is the guy with the guy at the moment, because I don't think they got the plan to do that at the moment. Because if they had a plan for the guy taking over, the guy that hopefully will move this project, this thing on with Tottenham at the moment, I think we'll be understanding who they would have an idea who they want
Who
as manager.
operates like what club operates like that? Choose
Well,
this
that-
guy and then we've got
well,
another guy.
well,
I don't think this is the thing, is it?
I mean, I
Right?
know that.
The guy before the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I think they were trying to set up something. I do need to be careful what I say here, but you know, looking at someone who's plays, you know, got similar traits to where they want to play, the way that Tottenham want to play, in the future, a coach or manager. But this is why I don't think Ange is going to get sacked, because at the moment I don't think they've got a plan. If it is a case that he will be sacked, the only thing that's going to happen is Mason going in charge, which I wouldn't entertain whatsoever. So, you know, this is where it comes down to, we have just to wait and see what happens. But you know, as I said before, and I can't divot from this. He's not a coach. He doesn't develop players, and he's not listening to his coaching staff. And the fact that he's admitted that he didn't adapt. He's just stayed the same way because the players were just tired. That's worrying. That is very, very concerning. You know, the players literally just said, "Well, sorry, we're too tired to do your tactics, mate." You know what I mean? So we're doing it our way. So does that look like someone's in control? You know what I mean?
Said that?
So, well, from what I'm hearing, there was a quote. I think you know,
Dan said that. Was it Dan who said that? He said
Dan,
he didn't adapt or something. Yeah.
he said he didn't adapt. So, because I don't really watch his press conferences, because I just think he just waffles a lot too much for me. But yeah, I do, you know, that's for me, it's a bit worrying for me. I also heard some rumors, because we were linked with Douglas Ruiz, which I don't think is a bad shout, to be fair, a bad shout. And I've heard some rumors that he says he don't want that sort of midfielder.
What's gone wrong with him there, though, at Juventus? He's only just gone there. Why would they be looking at selling him or moving him on so quickly? What's happened? Anyone know?
I don't know.
He doesn't fit what they do. He hasn't been settling in well. He's just been not very good for them.
Yeah, it could be he's homesick, or I say he's not English. He could be missing England. He could be the Premier League, could be the league that he seems more comfortable to his style. But what I will say with Ange is I've defended him a lot, a hell of a lot. Been on all the streams saying I won't turn on the manager. I won't turn. I came very, very close, very, very close to turning. I'd even said, listen, based on results, managers have got sacked for better. Sorry, managers have got sacked for better. Playing, I haven't liked that he just continues to play the same way and think I've got a magic wand. I can keep doing this. And finally, I am at a crossroads where I think it's a results-based business and the results ain't been big enough, or sorry, good enough. I'm also one that's always said I want us to break this cycle of going through and sticking with a manager. And again, Eugene will testify to this. I've been very vocal in the Tottenham Talk group, and actually, people won't believe it, but I've been sending voice notes. I never send voice notes. No, I missed the box office. I never.
You do.
Literally every message is a voice note.
It's good though. It's good.
Well, I've been going absolutely fucking mental, saying it doesn't matter who manages here, because whoever comes in, they're screwed. Whoever comes in, regardless, they're screwed. Yes, a manager might get better results to begin with, like most managers that come in, but at the end of the day,
18 months to 2 years, we're back here. I still listen. Like I say with the players, if you get an upgrade, you get the upgrade. I don't know where I stand right now. Put it this way, I'm not Ange out, but where I was 100% Ange in, I can't honestly speak and say, do you know what, I'm 100% behind him because the results just aren't good enough. But I'm not.
Right. Brian, I get what you're saying, man. Listen, I got a question for you. Because I know about backing a manager, and who else was it? Is there about backing a manager? I think Alex as well. You said the thing as well. You have to stick with the board, let them ride through this rough time. But Ange, he's just not. It's just not doing it, is he? Look at the performances, results, and is he really improving these players? Is he? There's so many questions. He's not a coach. Is he the man to actually waste any more time on? Put it like that. Let's just be blunt about it.
The cup results. Oh, you're going, Eugene. Yeah, go on.
Is there any point wasting our time with this guy if he's not going to coach these young players to improve them or improve some of the players that we have? What are we waiting around for?
Do you know what? Listen, well, when it comes, it's right. When you can't talk about the young players, and I'm just using these ones that have come in this season. Has Lucas Bergvall looked better and better with every game? Yes.
No.
Yes, he has. Alex, come on. Yes. With every game, he's getting better. He is getting better. That mate, you can't listen.
This is where I can't. I think he's doing okay. I don't think he's that. There's a lot. I didn't
say is he stealing the show and turning in match-winning performances. That's not what I asked. I said, is he showing game by game that he's learning things?
Yes.
And he's doing things? Yes, he is. Archie Gray, who I was delighted we signed, has he started getting better and better, especially playing out of position at centre back? Yes.
I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit for that. Yeah.
So listen, they need to do better, Alex. There's no doubt they need to do better. But like I said, and then what I will do, going back into, and I've just seen my brother Simon is in the chat, so big up Wales. Big up Wales of Wall Street. I love that man so much. Top man is this dude. I love him. But you look at it and Wales go, yeah, when it comes to the results, well, we've all seen that his points per game ratio, it's unacceptable. In fact, I'll go as far as say it's disgusting. To be as low as it is, it's disgusting. That needs to drastically improve. But
how, Brian? How is it going to improve? What can you see? What can you see? Eugene, Alex, has people in the chat.
Listen,
what is anybody seeing that he's going to improve?
But Dan, I have a question for you, Dan.
Yeah, go for it.
But Dan, I have a question. So the team that we fielded against Newcastle or against a Liverpool, if you just go player by player, talent-wise, where do you think that team would be in the league? 10th, 9th? If you just look at players who are available right now.
Our players, our team.
Yeah.
I think we're definitely in around the 7th, 6th, 5th. Pushing
I think so with Archie Gray at center back, with Spence,
not with
Bergvall. No, like the players that are available right now.
The ones, 8 probably.
What you're talking about, injuries or no injuries?
Yeah, with injuries, of course. Right.
With
so
injuries,
that's the issue.
Obviously, when you've got injuries, you're not going to be hitting your form, are you? But that's when the manager has to set the team out a different way to get the points, to get through those tough periods. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know if that's answered your question.
On Bergvall, I think Bergvall played well yesterday. Sorry, because you finally put him as a number 10. He played on a number 6 last week, which is basically a waste of time. Playing him as the deeper midfielder the other week against Newcastle, and then he's been moving Bergvall around into these little positions. He finally puts him in a position where he should be playing. It's not surprising me that last night he probably was one of our better players.
I think he was okay. I think he worked really hard. But
I'm not saying he was amazing, but he's probably one of our better players.
I don't accept that he's. I think he was very rash Very
He's
rare.
18, Alex. He's 18 years
Yeah,
old.
I know his
brand new.
age. I know his age, but the point I'm making is, and I'm going to keep on banging on the point. I think he needs to go on loan, or someone needs a proper experience next to him to
look, guys,
rein him in.
But Alex,
question.
who's better than him at the moment in our midfield? We haven't got a lot. Maddison
yeah,
should be there.
because he's there by default because of injuries. Because let's be honest here, he would not have been getting into a team if he had any
You're right,
injuries.
Alex, in that respect.
Yeah,
I would take him over
that's the
Star
point I'm
any day.
making.
I would take
What's
him
that,
over Star.
Eugene?
To Dan's question, has Ange improved any players? As Brian mentioned, if you look at Bergvall and Archie Gray, they clearly improved from the beginning of the year. Now, if you look at the players who are 27, 28.
Is that on Ange, though? Is it just there that they've got some talent and they're getting some games and they're building up confidence?
I don't
feel like
I think it's confidence.
But they're just getting game time.
Yeah, but I don't think that's fair, right? Like, if you're looking at players like Madison or Bissouma, if you're 27,
they've regressed.
But you are who you are. I feel like
they've regressed.
Coach,
Madison, Bissouma have regressed.
Hold on, Haz. Let me finish. I feel like as a coach, you coach youngsters. If you're 27, 28, there's only so much a coach can do. If you're 18, a coach can do a lot. With Bissouma, the reason why Conte didn't rate him, he said Bissouma didn't have the tactical IQ, right? So there's only at 27 or 28, there's only so much a coach can do. But when I'm looking at Bergvall and Archie Gray,
he can't be because obviously, if you're playing the deepest midfielder, right? Like I alluded to Bergvall the other week, where he shouldn't have been playing. Bissouma's the deepest midfielder. You just told me Conte said, I don't know if you're agreeing with what he said, he had lacked tactical discipline. So why isn't Ange playing him in a position where he needs to have tactical discipline?
But I think it
doesn't make any sense. And then Maddison, his tactics literally destroy Maddison.
But we're talking about coaching, right, House? Let's just finish. Let's talk about specifically coaching that he does not improve players. I could be wrong, but my feeling is if a player is older than 25, 26, there's only so much a coach can do. So the test is how he coaches the kids. And like Brian said, I feel like with Bergvall and Archie Gray, they improved significantly from the beginning of the year. Whether it's game time or not, we can't just say, well, if they improve, it's not on Ange, but when the players regress,
I don't
it's
think they've
Ange's fault.
improved really that much. I can't agree with Dan on this. I think it's just because we're seeing more of them.
But we don't know.
Like last night was the first time I saw Bergvall really plays a number 10.
Listen, let me just answer because I see, because the thing is, I mean, Eugene, you I don't agree with you a lot of the time. I've got to be honest, but respect. The thing I like about you turn up, and that's what I respect about you. You know what I mean? And then that's where I can't. I'm never gonna ever go at you because that's where I soften towards you, because that's why I said give me the link, please, because you got something opposite to me, and I like that sort of thing. But take that compliment and treasure that for the rest of your life. I'm joking about that. Anyway, joking. The point is, is that for me, I think they're gaining confidence. Yes, they've got a lot of energy. Yes, I see a little bit more from Archie Gray because he does look comfortable in a position that he's not used to at the moment. It doesn't still get me. It doesn't say, wow. You know what I mean? When I saw Wharton for Crystal Palace against us, then I was sitting there thinking, now that's a player. That's a player. You know what I mean? That was a performance, like, that's a message telling me, oh, you're a good player. You know what I mean?
Alex, you look at Bergvall. Just look at Bergvall. Forget the performance so much, whatever. Just look at the way he finished that goal, scored that goal. If that had been in a lot of other players, they'd have literally tried to put their foot through it or take an extra time. The confidence of the man and his own talent and everything to be able that is a quality finish yesterday.
No, I've said it on Mr. Box Office TV already. I've said on Mr. Box Office TV already, right, that was a good finish, right?
It was brilliant finish.
But on the flip side, though, right, okay, he still needs to improve. And this is where I have to look at Ange and the recruitment. They're bringing in these young players, right? They are obviously still need to learn. The the only thing I would say at the moment, when I look at Bergvall and compared to Archie Gray, I'm looking at Archie Gray, and Archie Gray looks more comfortable than Bergvall. I've got to be honest. You know what I mean? Because I'm at the games, and I've actually, because I was sat with Nick. I sat with Nick one time. It was Man United, I think it was. Yeah, and I was sitting there watching Archie Gray, and I was like, Archie Gray don't look that out of place here, don't he? And he said, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I can't really look at it, really, can I? Really? You know what I mean? But then you see later on in the game, look what happens. We let in 2 stupid goals. Yeah, well, 3 stupid goals, and that makes that game even more uncomfortable. Yeah, I think it was more Forster than the actual defense. So I have to be honest, but it's just, for me, I just think he's not. I don't see anything special, and I think really it's going to see what happens later, next season, whether he's going to be better than this season. Let's see what happens next season after that. You know what I mean? But he has got a little bit of something, but I just don't see it as much of what I've seen from other youngsters. Mikey Moore, for instance, Mikey Moore, his cameo, that was a wow sort of thing, wasn't it? You know what I mean? That was a wow sort of thing. Oh, that's what Mikey Moore offers. Yes. You know what I mean? With the way he's, he manipulates the ball and stuff. Yeah, that's when you see something special. Yes.
Alex, what I'll say in response to that, and you're absolutely right, in that game in Europe, remember, for the first half, he was very quiet on the right. Then he moved into his best position, and that second half, he was untouchable on the left. Bergvall has been playing in his preferred position for every single minute of every single game. Like as just said, in Newcastle, he's playing the 6. He's not a 6. Archie Gray is a 6 and doing it in defence. Mikey Moore came on and showed what he can. Don't get me wrong, Mikey Moore. You put those 3, Mikey Moore, Gray, and Bergvall. Mikey Moore, from what we've been told, what we're hearing, what we've seen in that game and what we saw for England in the summer, he is the real deal. In his position, the real deal. These other 2 aren't playing in their preferred positions yet. And we keep thinking, and I mean, don't get me wrong, when we signed a youngster, you wanted to have the kind of impact Dele Alli had when he first came in.
Well, that's the thing.
That doesn't happen every time. Yeah. That don't happen every time.
That's the point, yeah.
Dele Alli came in and played in a position. I mean, the idea was to send him out on loan. But then he came in and started off, and then bang, he was in a position. But remember, Dele Alli had Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, Christian Eriksen, Moussa Dembele. He had stars all around him.
I think that's because of Pochettino.
No, Alex, that's not what I'm saying. These youngsters at the moment are playing in positions, whether it be by the manager, whether it be by the recruitment, whether it be by the owners that are bringing them in. I've said how many times I've said this for how many years. Tottenham Hotspur love to buy lumps of coal. Love to buy lumps of coal and hope they turn into a diamond. Whereas other teams in the Premier League will buy a couple of lumps of coal, but with that, they'll buy 4 diamonds. And go, right, you're going to be sitting around loads of diamonds that are going to literally nurture you through the game, educate you, be by your side, and you're not going to be the guy that this all falls on. We're going to be here to support you, and we'll carry you through the game, and you'll grow it to turn into a diamond. We don't do that at Tottenham. Since that, like I just alluded to with Dele Alli, where he had all the diamonds around him, he was allowed to turn into that diamond. Whereas at the moment at Tottenham Hotspur, it is literally a load of lumps of coal. I can honestly, you look at it, compared to that team that we talked about, I don't think there's one diamond in the starting 11. Not one. No, we had. I mean, Son's still there, but he's not the shining diamond that he was. There's not a diamond in our team. There's potential to become a diamond. There's a few of them, but there is not one single diamond. Like a Liverpool, if they bring in a Harvey Elliott or something like that, they're like, okay, we've got all these players around you.
They played the other last night.
Yeah, but even with you know what I mean? Got Bradley played. He's got Van Dijk next to him. They've got all the midfielders. They got that front line to help him. Whereas when we at the moment, by injuries or whatever, it's just like, bang, there you go, lumps of coal. Go try and be diamonds where there's no one to help them. And that's a problem. And Alex, that goes back to what you're saying, recruitment completely.
Yeah.
And I think it's the coach
I think there's
as well,
a coach
because-
can get more out of this team. Sorry, guys. There's a coach out there who can get more out of this team 100%.
I think
We're really right slating the squad. There's some good talent there. Youngsters, there's some good players.
What I would say about Pochettino very quickly is that, because Eugene was saying that, Bissouma and Maddison have like a certain ceiling because they've hit a certain age. I think if it wasn't Pochettino, Dembele wouldn't have succeeded at Tottenham, because Dembele was 27, whatever, something like that when Poch arrived. Most people had given up on him, let's be honest, in this fan base. And I remember
they did.
And Poch pretty much made him into a player. Like, we thought he was done. He had his injury. He came back. And after the first season, he actually wasn't getting many minutes, actually, in the first season. Ben Taleb was playing with Mason a lot. Second season, under Poch, Dembele was a totally different player. So I put that down to Pochettino. I mean, you can look at Rose, you can look at Walker as well. There's a lot that Poch did with the players he had that he shouldn't have done. I mean, he got us to the Carabao Cup final. It wasn't the Carabao Cup back then.
Poch himself said he was a coach, right? Yeah. So I agree. But sometimes, let's say, Potter, he might be a good coach, but he's not a good manager. So it's always a balance. But just to go back for a second, and Alex, I'm going to steal from you. The word that you use all the time is arrogance, right? So just back to Bergvall, last thing on him. The one thing that I do see from him is arrogance. I see our midfielders sometimes, they hide from the ball. Bissouma hides sometimes, Sarr hides sometimes. Bergvall is always available. He always wants the ball. He always pushes the ball. So regardless whether of how good he is right now, he has the arrogance, he has the it factor that he could eventually become a top player. That's my opinion.
You know what? You make a good point there. Don't get used to it, though.
That's twice already, Alex. So I'm getting used to it twice.
I know. It's only have a laugh with you, mate. You know what I mean? You have to have a little bit of a laugh about these things, don't you? But listen, I think you're right there, because I heard this a lot, and he does look like that sort of guy that talks to people. Speaking about people that are arrogant, I think Kidsy's got that as well, to be honest. I think Kidsy's got that. Kidsy's got that as well, because I saw him at the stadium talking a lot. But going back onto Bergvall, the only thing I'd say is, at the end of the day, I think he needs someone experienced next to him. You know what I mean? He needs somebody experienced just to say, rein it in.
Who's that? Who is that then, Alex?
You know what? If you have like a Goodwan, a Jorginho, just someone that's got experience, just someone to say, nurture him and to say, bro, you ain't made it yet, bro. You ain't made it yet, bro. Like, and he would not make that stupid challenge. He just said, bro, calm yourself down, because you're going to get yourself sent off, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because Ange ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? Ange ain't doing it.
Alex, isn't the problem then that Ange is employing the wrong coaches? Because if he's not going to coach them, he needs to.
He's not listening to the coaches. That's the bloody problem. He ain't listening to the coaches.
No, I think the problem is when you go back to recruitment, and I said this for a few windows, I would love it, but Daniel Levy won't sign off of it because of the resale value. I would love us, like players that Alex just mentioned, if we went and signed this window a 30-something experienced midfielder, a 30-something experienced, let's say, winger that can cross a football, and like we're looking for Skriniar, not saying that he's the right fit. If you can go and get these people that have been there, done that, got the T-shirt, not only do they add value on the pitch to nurture them, off the pitch, at the training ground, how they conduct themselves, how they act, how they train, how they eat, what they do afterwards, I would love it if we went and signed, let's say, over the next 3 weeks, 3 30, 31-year-olds, whatever, that have been there, done it, got the T-shirt, won domestic cups.
No chance.
I will be all over. I'll be like, do you know what, Tottenham? Well, even if they all came on loan or on a free, I'll be like, do you know what, Tottenham? Well fucking done. You players to help these young players.
We had him in Perisic. We had him in Perisic, but unfortunately he wanted to go off, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because
Perisic, Maddison is opposite. Maddison is not that guy. He's the opposite of the leader that we need. We need someone like
No, but
like
Perisic,
James Milner, like Jordan Henderson.
Yeah, Jordan. Yeah. Oh, you just took the words right out of my mouth, Eugene. The point is,
Alex.
Yeah, I know. See how fun it is. We're connecting. You know what I mean? Remember Jay these days. You know, remember Jay. I'm getting on with him now. You know what I mean?
I can just see Alex going left on Spurs YouTube Tinder now. Eugene, yeah, okay. I get on with him now. I'm gonna swipe left. I swipe left for Eugene now.
And I'm supposed to be the guy that everyone hates. But anyway, moving on. That's called the ratings killer. But anyway, moving on. The point is there. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's funny season. It's January. You know what I mean. It's cold. The point is though, yeah, is that Perisic. You know, those sort of players. Because Perisic would have done better than that bloody Timo Werner, that below average Shane Long, German Shane Long, that I would cut his loan in tomorrow. I'll tell you that for a fact. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
now I'm getting animated. Now I'm getting it. Now I want to get animated.
Alex, do you know what I love?
Maybe the breaks gave me some energy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Mate, do you know what? I cannot agree with you strongly or more strongly if I try when it comes to Perisic. But what we got to keep remembering with Perisic is he had the option to go home, to finish his career back in Croatia, and he was always with his family going to take it. But I completely agree with you, Alex. He is, if we had him and he hadn't had his injury, and we played him up there, if we played him up top, or on the wing, my God, see, now you're talking Solanke. If Solanke had a Perisic, a lot of people would be speaking different, but you look at it, mate, whenever you say Perisic, I can't agree. Every time I hear you say it, I'm like, bang that drum, Alex, because I even think back in that season we signed him with the war chest. We always have a war chest. Daniel Levy just hides the key so no one can find it to open it. I thought signing Perisic was an absolute masterstroke. But then we do what we normally do. We bought him and we played him out of position because that's what we do as a club. But, mate, if we could sign 3 Perisic's, I mean, of that quality, and it could come in this January, I would turn around and go, do you know what? Well done, Tottenham. That's
learning someone that's got Champions League winning mentality. Multiple, not just one that Werner just completely forgot about. You know what I mean? Multiple Champions Leagues. That is, look, I mean, young players looking at it and thinking, "Oh yeah, mate, you won Champions League. Yeah, I have. Yeah, son. So you ain't made it yet. You know what I mean? You ain't made it yet. You know what I mean? So you got to work hard. You know what I mean? You got to have a little bit of a composure. You know what I mean? And all that learning from that sort of thing. You know what I mean? What are you learning from Son? How to lose? You know what I mean? I'm sorry,
guys. I've got to jump in here a second. I want to go for another 25 minutes. Yeah. Right. Because I'm feeling rough. Yeah. 25
minutes. Feeling rough? Why? Well, you're right.
Yeah, I've been ill all week. But
you trooper.
But I had to come on because
Deji's been ill as well. He was a trooper as well, to be fair. And that's it. That's at his like 50%. Bloody hell! Yeah. I don't know what he's going to be like 100%. Freestyling, isn't it? You know what I mean?
So we got 25 minutes, guys. Yeah, pick up to Deji, man. Where do people want to take this last 25 minutes? Anybody has got any subject they want to bring up before we end the show? The floor's yours, guys. You tell me what you want to talk about for the last time we got.
I feel guilty now, Dan. If you don't feel well, just
no. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying this stream. It's fantastic. It's just that I've got to get sleep because I've got to get up in the morning and go work. So
I got one. What do we want to talk? Potential lineup for the FA Cup draw? I would go all youngsters, all 18-year-olds. Give me the Korean kid, Mikey Moore, Lancashire, Dorrington, Gray at the 6, Bergvall, and Madison just as a piss take. Just play him with the kids.
I do think we got to be I know we should beat them with the kids, but is that a bit mad? All of them kids? You need to have a balance there a bit, don't you?
Yeah.
I think.
Do you know what? I'll tell you now. I literally last night, before it's been, I was speaking with Ben, as in We Are Tottenham TV, Ben, and we were talking about this, and we both gave our lineup with one person, but then we both agreed on my lineup, or shall I say mine and Ben's lineup, is Austin in goal, because there's no doubt whatsoever that Kinski is playing the North London derby. That is absolutely without foul. Back four, Spence, Dorrington, Dragusin, Reguilon. Midfield, Star, Bergval, Maddison.
Yep.
And then the front three of Moore, Lancashire, Yamin Hyuk. And then have the big guns on the bench if need be. But I will say with this, don't know if other people have seen this in the chat, but there is started watching a podcast last night, which was with Ashley Cole and Joe Cole. And they're doing this thing with Teddy Sheringham was a guest. That's why I watched it, because if I saw those two, I'd be like, fuck off, I'm not watching them two. But it was Teddy Sheringham. It was all about the FA Cup. And they actually had the Tamworth captain on, who's their goalkeeper. And they were saying, not only is this an artificial pitch that they're playing on, it's also got a little bit of a slope like Underhill. So obviously they've got a guy that's got the long. They went quite deep into it, and it's like they're literal. The changing rooms are like those porter cabins. It's going to be a real. I would love to see the kids and have the big guys on the, but they're going to get. This is like the biggest day of their life. The goalkeeper, he was mate. He gave this interview in his car, in a shopping centre car park. Because he's a estate agent or realtor over here, Eugene, surveyor, and he's like, I've got a foot. This means everything to them. It's a massive thing. But right now, Solanke, I don't want to see anywhere near. I don't even want to see him on the bench. Like, stay at home, put your feet up, relax. Same with Kulu. There is enough people on there to say, do you know what? You should be able to get the job done. Yeah. You should be able to. Yeah, I mean, Hyuk could be good to see what. I mean, if you want to throw him in and say, right, let's see what you got, without being disrespectful to Tamworth, you're going to say this game, aren't you? Although he might get kicked the shit out of. It's like earn your stripes, but that's the team. That's the team me and Ben came up with. So I'll go back again. So Austin, Spence, Dorrington, Radu, Reguilon. Bissouma, Sarr. Ben went Bissouma to start with, but we changed our mind to Sarr. Bergval, Maddison, Mikey Moore, Yamin Hyuk, and Will Lancashire. That surely, if Will Lancashire can be chucked in away at Galatasaray, I'm sure he could do a job at Tamworth.
He should have been playing a long time ago, to be honest with
Mate, big time. I completely agree with you, Alex. Completely.
This is again where I think he's tiring out Solanke again, doing all this running, and you're sitting there thinking, again, it's another Van der Ven situation. That hamstring's going to tick. Again, tick-tock. Like the tick-tock that I said, Conte's contract going down. Well, these hamstrings just tick, 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 tick. You know what I mean? Tick-tock, tickety-boo, like they say every single time.
Didn't they report that there was some clubs that are looking at to sign him permanently, Lancashire? That's what I was reading.
Yeah, no, there's always rumours floating about it. I'll tell you now, if we get rid of Will Lancashire, if we sell him, then it's very clear that this youth academy is going to be used like Chelsea, nurture them, get them up to the level, and then sell them for profit. And then Project Youth is completely out the window, and it's another lie that we've been told, especially because we brought Will Lancashire in. He didn't come through our youth academy. We brought him in. If we were to sell him, then it's just stupidity on our side.
Guys, can people give their opinions on our youth players? You know, because there's
Alfie Devine is a king.
A fantastic.
Yeah, I knew it'd say
young players. Yes, we run through them.
I think they're overhyped as far as I'm concerned. I think at the
Alex,
moment.
Before you say that, can we just run through them quickly?
Yeah, go on.
Just in case we've missed any. Okay, so these are the highlighted ones. Yeah, Lancashire, Devine, Donnelly, Phillips. Yeah, then you've got the new South Korean kid. Also, you have Vustovic. I know I said more already. Bergval, Gray. When I list them like that, and Alex, what do you reckon? You think you don't rate them or what?
I just think at the moment, I think when I look at Chelsea's, right, Now, I'm not saying that Chelsea are, but the blueprint for me is that they use their youngsters, they bring them through, but they also sell them on, so they get a lot of profit from them, and then they gain a lot of profit from that. You see what I'm saying? I don't believe it's a youth project at the moment for me anyway, because I think we don't play them from the start. You know what I mean? And I think that was when we were really hyping up our youngsters last year, and I know a lot of people were saying that a lot of last year. I didn't see this last year, especially someone like Dorrington, for instance. Now we've had lots of problems in centre back recently, right? And this guy, I don't even know whether he knows he's coming or going. You know what I mean? I know he got an injury last year, but the amount of times that there's been opportunities for us to play him at centre back, and we've not done it. And it just leads me to say, why the hell do we let Phillips go on loan? Why do we let him go on loan if we we were short with a centre back? Why do we not get another centre back in? You know what I mean? So that's another thing as well. I think Yaman Hook, I think they're banking on him doing something this season. I think they're banking on him massively, right? That's why they gave Song a new contract. So watch this space with him. I mean, I don't know about Donnelly. I don't know about the other ones as well. I do see a little bit about Mikey Moore, but again, I think he had a really good cameo. I've got to give it to him. He did have a good cameo, but I mean, since then, unluckily he's been ill. But I do think it is a bit overhyped. I don't think
And Alex, I know why you're talking like this, because we haven't got a proper coach, isn't it? If we had a proper coach, then you may be a little bit more positive about these young players.
I think that the whole thing structure for me is just not.
So not the coach. No,
it's a coach. It's a coach, because I think he would have brought in a little bit more, and I think he would have used them more. But I think he's just not. I think he needs experienced players to play his system a little bit more, and people got energy as well. And I don't think he felt that they were ready, because if they were ready, if he felt that he could, put them in, he would have done it earlier for me. Because Archie, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna. No one's going to change my mind. Archie and Burville will not even get in a look in. Weren't even getting a look in before the injury started. Do you know what I mean? So, they're only getting a look in the Europa League, weren't they? So, but yeah, I think you just have to watch and see for me. But I'm not convinced about.
So you're not getting on this hyper excited train that these youngsters are going to be generational talents, and we're going to see Spurs really challenging for things in a couple of years, 2-3 years, once they all start to kind of grow together in the team with the right coach.
I don't think it really works. It doesn't really work like that now, doesn't it? Really, because sometimes youngsters have up and down. They're up and down, aren't they?
People are highly rated, Alex. I read it all the time on social media, YouTube. People are highly rated. Guys, jump in if you don't. If you see,
I'll go for Ashley Phillips. When we signed him, I put a tweet out and said the year is 2029, and Spurs are being led out for a North London derby, and Ashley Phillips is the captain. I think this guy is the real deal. In my opinion, this guy is the real deal. He just needs time to develop. It's unbelievable. And the reason I'll say that as well before people, it's unbelievable. Since I've moved to Canada, I've never in London met a Crystal Palace fan in my life. I've met 6 of them here in Toronto. I've never ever met fans of certain teams. I've met them here. And one of the people I've met was a Blackburn Rovers fan. And I mean, a hardcore, follows the youth, whatever. And even before we bought him, he said, we got to keep coming through Ashley Phillips, watch this guy go. He is gonna be something. He is gonna be something. Whether we get to do it, whether he gets to see it at Tottenham, whether we find the right manager, if Postecoglou is the man or not the man, when he finally comes through, that we'll have to wait and see. Jamie Donnelly will succeed. Whether we play him in midfield, potentially as a fullback cover like he was. But I will say, and I keep saying this, and I've said it for 3-4 years, Alfie Devine is going to be a superstar. A genuine,
How old is he now, Brian? How old is Devine now?
Mate, Devine,
I'm telling
forever. You, mate, without, yeah, like I said, I've my parents, a couple of my parents' best friends, their son was the medical team at Wigan, and I was hearing about Devine when he was at Wigan. And people that have seen me on YouTube, or talks to me on WhatsApp, this kid, once he finally, and we saw him pre-season, I wanted to, before the window opened or whatever, I was really toying with the idea, like in myself, what if I had the choice, would I bring Devine back? At one point I was like, yeah, because I think right now he walks into this midfield, how poor it's been. But then I was like, do you know what? If he does come back, is he just going to sit on the bench for fucking 6 months and not develop in Belgium where he is? And I'm telling you, I will not. So Alfie Devine is going to be a superstar, and I will.
But why, Brian? Why is this? Because we don't see him. What do you know about him that others may not?
Right. So Alfie Devine. Well, I'll tell you from Wigan. This was when he was at Wigan. We want to talk about people. We talk about how Kulu's got an engine, how it looks like Bergvall. One of the best trainers, if you ask anyone that has trained with him from Leeds, Newcastle, Manchester City, Liverpool, Brighton, even now to this day, James Milner, his fitness levels, every single manager, all his teammates, off the chart. Apparently, Alfie Devine scores higher than James Milner in fitness capacity. Wigan, the medical team were like, it's something that they've never ever seen in any player. If you listen to now, a lot of people don't believe what Ali Gold says and think he's a mouth, whatever. One thing that he keeps saying, which is factually correct, and it's not him saying it, is every single time Alfie Devine has been in the youth academies growing up since he's signed, within 6 months he needs to go into the year above because he's outshot. He's like the best player in the league. When England were on international duties, he's been a star for them at tournaments. What you saw glimpses of what this kid could do in this pre-season. Yeah, we saw this pre-season. The youngsters and the non-first teamers did better pre-season than most of the first teamers. Alfie Devine can play the 6, the 8, the 10, can create, can tackle, can dictate pace, can be that person in the middle that's always available. He is a star. Mark, listen, I know I wanted to, but I think it's come a bit late now. I wanted to put a bet that he makes the Canada World Cup. If he had been in the first team at Spurs this season, it's going to be too late for him unless he gets if he gets to play in the first team next season and plays, I will put the bet on that he makes the England World Cup team before a ball is kicked. If we hear pre-season of the summer, Alfie Devine is going to be part of the first team squad and get minutes at Tottenham Hotspur this summer or this season, I will instantly put my first ever bet on it at bookies and put $100 on that Alfie Devine goes to the World Cup with England. That's how confident I am in this.
You rate him higher than Moore, the likes of Donnelly.
I would put it. Listen, Moore's a 17-year-old kid who's bursting through. Devine is now 20, or is he 21? He's 20. He's 20. He'll be 21 in the summer. It's quite shocking, quite freaky or creepy, shall I say? I know his birthday. I know August 1st, August 3rd. Who cares? I don't want to show my my bunny boiling tendencies that I have with Alfie Devine. But he is, out of all those players, if you say to me all those players that are around the 20-year-old, like the Mikey Donnelly's, whatever, Alfie Devine, superstar. Genuine superstar. I just hope Spurs don't get rid of him at any point, because he will go on and be an England mainstay, a first teamer, wherever. He is that damn good. He is that.
Sorry, guys, I gotta jump. Hey, Brian, sorry.
Eugene,
Yeah,
thank you,
yeah,
mate. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks.
Take care.
This last thing I want to say, the reason why we're hyping up all the kids with Gray, for example, City wanted him, they scouted him, Liverpool and Dortmund. The only reason why he ended up with us, we guaranteed him some playing time. So even if he's not going to work out, at least we know that those teams know talent. Same thing with Bergvall. Is that guaranteed that they're going to work out? No, but at least we know the talent is there. So what happens, as you said, Dan, they need good coaching. Whether Ange is that or not, we'll see. You know, you think no, I think maybe, but we'll see in 2 years. But at least I like what I'm seeing right now.
You're hopeful, though,
we'll
Eugene. Are you excited for it? Are you?
I want to see some fresh blood. I'm just tired of seeing some older players just go there with no energy, with no passion. When I see the kids play, at least I see some energy, some passion for the badge. Okay. Even if we lose, at least with the kids, at least, you know, I see that. But we'll see. But yeah, big up, guys. Dan,
big up, man.
Thanks as always. Has, Brian, Alex.
See you later, brother.
Take care.
Yes.
Well, what I will say as well is, listen, Alfie Devine, if he doesn't make it, I've got some shit coming my way. But I will say, once I know what does happen and he does make it, my God, have I got some receipts to be handing out to me. And I hate using that word. My God, have I got, because he is the real deal. He is the real deal. And I will say hello to my fellow Canadian, Scott M, who's just come in the building.
Oh, Scott.
I think it's not that. Listen, I think it's just. I think it, like I say, and I think people just don't understand the way I look at things. And hopefully I'm still beyond subject, but I think it's just explaining something, because I think people misunderstand me a lot when I say what I say. Tell us. What I say. I fell out of love with Tottenham. I have felt out of love with Tottenham because, like I say, I don't think I need to see it. I need to see it, and I've always said this, and because people don't listen to the actual things I say, I think they just think of it. Oh, well, you're just trying to say this, be negative, and everything else, and you know, football's quite a simple game for me, really, and I think it's just been made very complicated because people are trying to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. And I do think that with Tottenham right now, I've got to be honest. I think the cup run at the moment is covering our form at the moment. I have to be honest. And it's quite similar to what Poch was doing in his last year. And people were concerned then. And people are now saying it's okay right now. So, and I think that's where the youngsters thing as well. I just think, well, I think, you know, if it was really done properly, I think we would, you know, we'd put them in better situations, maybe put them on loan, you know, put them with players that are actually more experienced, that are more reliable. It's just a bit too backwards for me with the club at the moment, you know? And yeah, I'm just not a silly boy anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not that little silly boy anymore. I'm just a bit more, sensible a little bit now. So, you know, and I just think it's just not really, you know, that's why I'm not so taken aback by what's going on at the moment. I've got to be honest. And yeah, you know, in another day, I would be happy with the Carabao Cup, and yeah, I would be happy, and I think it can happen. It can happen. Whether that is going to, I think the more interesting thing is what's going to happen afterwards. I have to be honest, because it does feel like a a Ramos situation. It really does for me, because the cup run is really covering our form at the moment. I have to be honest. If anybody understands what I'm trying to say, I don't know.
I definitely get you, Alex. And I think this is a good little time how we can wrap the show up tonight. Is just leave it with how we're actually feeling right now. Well, I'll leave what I say until the end. I want to hear from Haz and Brian. Alex, is there anything more you wanted to say before we move on to somebody else? Is there anything else that you wanted to add to how you're feeling and what you want moving forward in the next month or two from Spurs?
I mean, at the end of the day, listen, I just want to see. We'll just have to see what happens. I've got no expectations anymore. You know what I mean? I've made my mind up on the manager. You know, I've made my mind up on the manager completely. I don't think he's a good coach, and whether he can survive and see what happens from there, I don't. At the moment, he's getting backed. You just have to wait and see. There's no point in me wanting another manager in because I know there are coaches out there that are better than him. It's just I don't think the club are going to do that. I don't think they're not proactive enough to do it. So the only thing I think that would change my mind is if we do well in the Europa League or we go up the table a little bit more with a trophy.
Can you see it, Alex? Though under Ange?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't. I'll be honest with you, I don't because I think I've seen enough in 18 months. So I see somebody in the chat called Asquith Rahman. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what to go on what he's saying anyway. But you can't please everybody, can you? You know what I mean? But that's how it is. You know,
everyone's got their own opinion and outlook on it all. Yeah, that's fine. Everyone think what they want. So you support the club, you support them how you want to.
Yeah, but anybody else wants to say anything? I
was going to quickly do the youngsters first, very quickly. It's not long for me. Well, I've seen a lot of young players come through at Spurs and signed by Tottenham. I can name like Reto, Ziegler, Cavan, Davenport. There's a whole long list, and everyone comes in and they all say, "Oh, he's the next whatever. He's going to be the next big thing." And then 2-3 years later, we find out they're nowhere near as good as everyone thought they would be. So for me, the jury's out on all of them. Obviously, Moore's the one that's impressed me the most because I just like players like that who are quite brave and who get the ball like that and drive. Yeah. But still, again, with him, we'll see what happens in the next 2-3 years. And same with Gray, same with Bergvall. You kind of see glimpses at this age, and then whether they can fulfill their potential, you won't really know till 2-3 years down the line.
It's the coach, isn't it? It's so important. Yeah. Whoever the manager is, managing our team for these development of these young players. There's so much to it, like we're throwing in youngsters now in an underperforming team, right? What a kind of, what do you want to call it? Like an introduction to their Spurs careers being thrown in at this moment when we're struggling.
I think the difference is now is like under Martin Yole, that's when I think we did like a proper rebuild. He at least had experienced players around these players who were developing at the time. Like, I mentioned Ziegler back then. You had King and Nabet in the back with him, let's say, for example. And now they're kind of just been chucked into the deep end and just fight for their lives, really, to survive in the team, I guess. It's not.
And they're doing okay, I think they're doing okay. Yeah. I think like Gray, he's doing all right.
Yeah, I think Gray's done well. Bergvall's kind of turned a bit as well. But it's more out of like necessity and like not by design. That's basically what I'm trying to say. It's not by design.
It's not by design.
But yeah, as for Ange, many people know my fingers on Ange. Unless a miracle happens and he gets hit on the head and his son decides to adapt in games, I think his future's not looking very good. So, yeah, next 3 Premier League games, if he doesn't win, get 7 points, I think he's in big trouble.
Okay, prediction. Yeah. Who we got in the next 3 Premier League games? Arsenal, we have Everton. Is it Everton away and then Leicester at home? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your prediction, Alex, for those 3 games? Do you see us getting any points?
As it stands at the moment, I think we'll lose to Arsenal. I think we'll get a draw out of Everton. And I mean, Tamworth, that's obviously going to be a win. There's no really point of even going there.
I meant the Premier League games, by the way. Yeah.
So yeah, and I think that's it really at the moment. I think that's it.
And we've got Leicester at home, I think.
Leicester at home, yeah. I expect us to win that game. Because it's at home. So, yeah, I think.
So how many points is that, Alex?
I think that's 4 points.
4 points. Okay. And what was your prediction?
Well, I think we'll lose to Arsenal. It wouldn't surprise me if we lost to Goodison Park, but I think it'll probably be a draw.
Who are they bringing in, Everton? Do we know?
No.
It looks like David Moyes. David Moyes is the favourite.
Yeah.
They were even linked with Jose Mourinho, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. And as for Leicester at home, I don't know about that game. Because if we go into that game, not on the back of like a few couple wins or something, or like 2-3 points, like winning at least one of the next two, I don't know. It could be a banana skin game. I think we could draw that game.
Seriously, we can't beat Leicester. You forget about it.
Honestly. I mean, because we drew with them.
You've got to beat Leicester. You've got to beat Leicester. Sorry, however bad what form we're in, it's a must win.
Yeah, you listen. You say I'm gonna have to say this, then literally go, because I said to my wife, "I'll be ready 5 minutes ago." For dinner. I mean, you guys are lightweight, saying you need to go to bed. For me and Scott, it's only 7:30 and 6:30. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. The night is young. But yeah, no, listen, I don't know why, but I don't know why I'm saying this, but I think we're going to get a draw against the Filth. Or maybe that's me being deluded and clinging on and just not being able to say we're going to lose to the Filth. But that's I think we draw with Everton because we always do away. We always fuck it up at Goodison. And I think we beat Leicester. So really 4, because if we say our minimum 4 points is what I reckon, 5 maximum. So
and that's an improvement in recent form, isn't it? That's an improvement in recent form.
That's it. But I will say, just in losing, like I said, we're with these youngsters. You know what? People are right. We have had so many where everyone will hype up every single bloody one of them. Oh, he's a star. He's a star. He's a star. He's a star. He's one of the making. I will say that I like I said to Scott, I'll respond to this. Like I said, just bring that one up very quickly. My final comment will be, as he said, I just don't see how a guy that is 20 years old playing okay in Belgium turns into a superstar. If anyone had told you or us that Jude Bellingham will be at Real Madrid from Birmingham, obviously they've had different pathways. He went into the Birmingham side, started playing. There are certain youngsters that break the mold. If someone, when James Milner was the youngest, Leeds' youngest player at 16, and obviously Alfie's 20, there are players that do it. I will die on the hill. I will go to war on Alfie Devine, and he is the only one of all. Oh no! And the final thing I will say is Donna. And this is the final thing that I'm going. Donna Cullen, who every time I see her say Wagwan, I literally think, it puts a smile on my face. Because I just imagine Donna Cullen in the boardroom in the morning going, "Wagwan, Daniel, Wagwan, Ange." It pleases my mind thinking that Donna Cullen is in the training ground or at Hotspur Way going, "Wagwan, Wagwan," and fist bumping. She asked me if I could give her one name to go and get. And I said it earlier. If I could give her a name right now, realistically, not like a stupid superstar, go get me Morgan Gibbs-White, Donna. Go get me Morgan Gibbs-White, because I think that player is a baller. But I will say, Dan, pleasure coming on. Mr. Box Office, love you, mate. We need to catch up. Has always a pleasure, brother. I look forward to hopefully seeing you all in April. Box Office, I'll definitely see it. We'll link up in Southgate or whatever. And Dan, we'll sort out. Everyone in the chat, have a wonderful evening.
Cheers, Brian. Coming on, man. Thank you very much.
Out.
Take care.
Take care, mate.
Right. So, did you finish your summary?
Yeah.
So let me just speak how I feel right now. Yeah, let's just do it. I mean, I've got a show tomorrow as well, which I'll talk about in a minute. But look, for me, the news came out Sunday. What the truth in it? Who knows? It was Orstein came out Sunday saying 100% behind Ange. It is what it is, right? He's not going anywhere this month. You know, he's going to get through that January transfer window, and we'll see what we're left with by the end of it. We will see what impact that has on the team, and then we will have as well some returning players coming back. Now, there's a couple coming back earlier. I heard that Van der Ven and Romero are back earlier than expected. Is that right, guys? You saw that today? End of Jan?
Well, Ange said before the last game that Van der Ven could be on the bench. I didn't hear anything about Romero though.
Yeah, but it was just just recently today I saw it that I think they were supposed to come back February, but it could be earlier. So what if that will help us? That's still some time away. We're only on the 10th of January, right? So we still got to get through this period. So that with them coming back, Richarlison's coming back, isn't he? Think next week, end of next week. I think Moore's very close now, or he should be on the bench. We might even see him at the weekend. Look, there is a bit of a respite now, isn't it, this weekend? Because we have got that FA Cup game. Was it Sunday, right, guys? On TV, is it?
Tamworth? 12:30, yeah.
The BBC, or was it one of them ones?
Yeah, and then it's Man United, Arsenal, I think, in 3 o'clock or something.
Okay, yeah. So it's a little bit of a respite this weekend. You know, surely it should be a straightforward win. Yeah, guys, Alex, Tamworth.
Yeah,
surely this is not even worth discussion.
We should win. I mean,
listen. I mean, I'm not going to watch the game. I'm not going to watch the game. There's no point in me watching the game, really. To be honest with you,
I want to see some of those young boys play.
Well, no, because as far as I'm concerned, I think we should be beating Tamworth. I don't see the point of I just don't see the point of me. I just don't think it's any worth me watching it and seeing something that we've already going to win the game anyway. I think we should be beating Tamworth as far as I'm concerned. I think the interesting game is Arsenal. That's the game I'm interested in because
where is it? Whose ground is it at?
It's at Emirates. So I think with Arsenal having a very hard FA Cup game because they've got Man United, and they're looking at wins from the Newcastle game. I do feel that Tottenham, if they had anything about them, they would try and tackle that game and try and get at least a draw out of the game, to be honest with you. But I mean, it would be going absolutely bonkers if we do get a draw, and if we get a win, it's gonna, there's gonna be fireworks in at White Hart Lane. Not White Hart Lane, but at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
What game are you talking about, Alex?
The Arsenal.
It's at the Emirates.
Emirates, yeah. But I'm just saying, if we get a draw at the Emirates or get a win, there'll be fireworks. I just think at the moment the kids. I think I don't think we've got any choice but to play most of the kids anyway because most of the players are tired. The likes of Van der Ven, Solanke, you know what I mean? They need a rest. They need a rest. They cannot play that game because you really are risking them getting injury. You know what I mean? Or I would play them, get the job done. You've got to get the job done very, very early and then get them off as quickly as possible, as far as I'm concerned. On a pitch that might cause them injury as well. So I think I expect them to do something against Tamworth, and then we move on to Arsenal very, very quickly, and then just wait and just enjoy the draw into the next round, hopefully.
Okay, fair enough. So just going back to what I'm feeling, I think it's going to be a very tough time ahead with the Premier League fixtures. As I said, the transfers we bring in may impact positively some returning players, possibly. But how I see it right now, I mean, that Liverpool game, did it give me a little bit more confidence? I don't know. For me, it could be just a one-off win. We just went our way, didn't it? Just went our way. Great win, of course. Give us a glimmer of hope in the next round. But that hasn't shown me anything. I've got to be honest here. We're in dreadful form. We're 12th in the league. We lose any more games, we're going to be continuing to drop. And as I said, I don't see us winning one in the next 10 Premier League fixtures, and that's at home to Leicester. If you look at all the other fixtures, I'm struggling to see how we can win in the form we're in. Obviously, Ange could turn it round. The players' form could turn round. We could. It's all could, if buts and maybes. So yeah, I'm not feeling very positive about the whole thing. I think if the form continues to drop, and we go out the Carabao Cup, I think Ange's job is still in risk in February. Yeah, I still think it's a risk. And then the club have got to make a decision who they're going to bring in. And then we'll be in the Europa League still. So that's a competition that a new manager can take on. And a competition a new manager can take on and have something to aim for the rest of the season. But do they really want to give a new manager a kind of relegation type battle? Or are they going to say, look, Ange, this is on you now. You got us in this situation. You got to get us out of it. So it's just so many ways that this can go. Who knows what's going to happen? But guys, that's it really for me. I've got a show tomorrow going at 7:00. We're going to be delving into Ange, deep dive into his 18 months in the club. So yeah, come down and give us a watch with that one. And as I said, big up to everyone in the chat. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your comments. Big up to Alex. Big up to Haz, Brian, Deji, Eugene. Subscribe to all their channels. That'll be fantastic. And that's it for me tonight. If anybody else wanted to say anything.
No, that's
good show.
Yeah, been a good show,
Thanks
isn't
for
it?
having me on anyway as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me on as well. That's cool.
No, I appreciate you guys coming on. Thanks so much. And take care, everybody. Good night. And we'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.